Hello and welcome to No Bones Fight Talk, brought to you in association with CJ Wassell Roofing and Building Solutions. Now, we are here today with someone who, we're filming this on a Sunday morning, and you know sometimes on a Sunday morning you can feel a little bit lethargic, you can feel a little bit hungover, and you can feel like you don't really want to get shit done. Well, if this is a bit of you, then this interview today is going to make you feel a little bit more shit about yourself, because we're here today with a guy who's brushes all that shit aside and gets on with stuff and gets stuff done in a way it's supposed to be done. Whatever's thrown at this guy, as you're going to find out during this interview, he just overcomes it, man, and hopefully this will inspire you guys to do the same, to get off your ass out of your bed and to get shit done. We are here today with European Welterweight Champion and BKFC, Rico "BonBon" Franco. Rico, welcome.
Yes, let's go. Pleasure to be on this podcast. It's been a long time coming.
It has, yeah.
We're finally here now.
We've had it in works for a while. We've finally got here, but you've come here with decorations, and I appreciate that. It's the first time we've had a belt on here, isn't it, lads?
Yeah,
it's looking good.
She's heavy, isn't she?
First one, yeah. Honestly, yeah. When he first put it on me, David Fellman, it was just weighing me down. I thought, this is heavy, this. I had to get my brother to carry it back.
It's not one for putting round Levi's, is it?
No.
But it looks stylish all the same. Well, let's talk about that. That's where we'll start. Perfect place to start. A couple of months ago in Florence, Italy, a big trilogy with Jimmy Sweeney. We had Jimmy on just before the fight as well. He was talking about it, and he was a bit wary about it. He'd been watching you fight with Austin Trout previously, before, and he was saying that you were looking good and that you had to get in there and get stuff done. I mean, it was a great fight, an epic fight, wasn't it? I mean,
absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about that fight, mate. It was a good one.
Yeah, so it was a proper fight. End of the day, wasn't it? Obviously, tried to show me boxing skills, a little bit come in, but the way I felt in that fight, we just had to dig in the trenches, and there's a lot of things happening in that fight. But it was an amazing experience. Got to fight in Florence.
Beautiful city.
Yeah, amazing city, amazing food, expensive food for my coach, because when the first day we got there, he ended up spending 325 quid on a Wagyu steak,
Nice.
which was not intentional.
That Dex Bellman.
Yeah, Dex Bellman, yeah. Danny's too switched on for that.
We have chicken nuggets.
But yeah,
that's been hitting Ed a few more times.
Yeah, it was wild. But yeah, we had an amazing fight week in Florence. Get to explore the city a little bit, and I just love the energy. You know, when you're just on the fight week, you're just cutting weight, good people around you. Camera guy Brody were there, and yeah, it was just good vibes, good people.
What buzz like with people around the city? Were they feeling the event that night? Could you feel it coming from the locals?
Definitely, yeah. As the week was progressing, obviously more people coming in, and we was going into the centre doing some filming, and like, you know, the people in Florence were like, "What's going on here?" We're just shadowboxing in the middle of Florence, and it was crazy, and all these camera guys we were just getting treated like kings there, and you know, you felt like a celebrity, and it was nice. I was just soaking it all up and then taking it all in.
Did it have that Marbella feel to it?
It did, yeah, definitely had the Marbella feel. Marbella were just a little bit different though. That was special. That Marbella. It's going to be hard to top these European shows, especially coming back to a UK show now, unless it was a big stadium show or something, or a big arena. But these European shows are mega. I think it's because of the weather and everything as well. You're in a different scenery. It's just class.
Yeah, and as a Brit going out over there, we know there's big fight fans in this country, and they like to follow the favourite fighters out into these Europeans and make it like a stag do atmosphere and stuff like that. And the guys get in the groups and they go over, bring the grit and the British atmosphere to these things. And yeah, I bet it's. I mean, we've not had the privilege of going to an abroad show yet. Obviously, we cover the ones over here, but I imagine it's a good crack, right? Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, with the support as well. For Marbella, I think I did 70 grand's worth of tickets, which is, you know, there's 50, 60 people coming out for that, and then the same for Italy. You know, it was wild. It's you know, it's appreciated, all the support. You don't realise until you get on these European shows when you're taking a group full of people. Like, actually, yeah,
and they'll travel all that distance.
I must be doing something right here. I must be entertaining for these lot to come. So. Yeah, it's great support.
That you certainly are, mate. As people who've watched many of your fights, you are an entertaining fighter, and that's what people want to come to see in it, especially in this bare knuckle game now, because it's like that, innit? It's just explosive, and guys like yourself who are making it to the top of that bring that to it. And Yeah, so we'll talk a bit about that fight. Obviously, it was a close fight, a couple of rounds each. It ended up going to that extra round. How did that feel? Were you prepared for that to happen, or did you think you'd get it done quicker than that? Or once the fifth round had finished, did you think it were going to go to another?
Did you feel like you'd won after 5?
Yeah, I felt like I just edged it, even though it was a close fight. I mean, in between rounds, my corner team was saying, right, you either won that round or you didn't win that round, and the first 2 rounds, I won the first 2 rounds. Jimmy definitely won the third. He stepped it up.
Strong in third, didn't
I always kind of back off in the third. I go hard in the first 2, and then I back off and I gas out a little bit, and then second win comes again. So obviously the third one, he put in a good performance, and he was trying to knock me out in that third. I had a mindset of going in trying to knock him out in the first round, which was not a good idea. But that was just, we'll get on to that. That's just the way I felt. But as the fight went on, I just slowly adapted, got a bit stronger. 4th round come, the hook knockdown come in place. Obviously, when I'm a bit tired, I kind of go on the back foot, and we've been drilling the check up. Obviously, it worked against Caleb Harris in the Newcastle fight. So after we got that little knockdown, just said to me coaches, just back off for the old round now. You've won that round. Just jab and move, and move, jab. So that's what we did, and I was fatigued, so I just moving, and then got to the 5th. I finished stronger in the 5th as well. It was a very close round, the 5th, so I still feel like I had the three rounds up in the 5 rounds. I got back to my corner, and Danny was just like, look, we think you've won the fight, but just prepare for the 6th round. So I was already preparing for the 6th. I prepare in fight camp anyway for the 6th because I train an extra round, always do. Just to give me that confidence and mental edge. So obviously when it was 2-3 minute gap in between, and I was just preparing my mind, just thinking, right, we're going again. Even though my face is looking like Quagmire and Jackie Chan, we had to prepare mentally for that. Yeah,
you did me Quagmire gag, man. I'm going to get to that.
I would have beat you. It's like
You're looking at his nose.
Like stung by a wasp or something.
It was the pictures that you posted after the fight, a couple of days after. Your jaw was really square and came out here. And
never done that before.
Yeah. As soon as I saw it, you were like giggity.
No, I didn't. I didn't break a bone in my body. My hands were. Wow. I thought even my hands were fine after. Like just a little bit of a sore on my left, but yeah, I didn't break a bone. My nose was all right. My jaw was sore for about 3 days, and it went down. All right. But I could eat straight after, so I'm buzzing.
Straight out for some Wagyu.
Straight in for some Wagyu. Definitely
Cheers,
not.
Deck.
We've watched it back a few times, and we watched it. Unfortunately, your birthday, wasn't it? So
there were about 8 of us round a mobile phone because it was
birthday party. And we were like, who's won that? And we were like all up in air. Some fought you, some fought
Everyone was confused because it was like, I thought it was done, and then it went another round. Everyone was like, what's going on?
I watched it twice, and at the end of 5th round, I thought, if it goes either way, you won't be upset because it was that close.
The knockdown didn't it? They swung it.
But definitely couldn't
But the
finish
6th round, without a shadow of a doubt, that was your round.
It was definitely your round.
And they say when it goes into a 6th round, the winner of that round, regardless of the scorecard, is all or nothing. It's all on that. I like that format.
I
love it. Yeah,
and that suits you, doesn't it, with your cardio? How you get that second win and come on really strong. How do you do that? It's wild.
It's just all down to the mindset, obviously. Before the fight, if you get your mind in that frame of mind where you
might have to go 6 rounds,
beating you no matter what.
You go until the end, no matter what, and it just comes down to mindset in the end.
So it's the mindset and the cardio. Because if you haven't got cardio to back it up, you're fucked, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. But even if the cardio is not there, your head's there. That's it. Your head's controlling everything. So as long as you don't switch off and you stay in that zone. And that's due to all the training as well. I mean, all the training, all the setbacks I'm having, all the health issues, and all the times you're in the gym you don't want to be, and like the sessions you don't want to turn up to, and you turn up and you just get it done. You just put in the work in. That's what it comes down to. And I've already been there before, so it's just another day. Yeah, when times get tough, I didn't want to be in there, mate. First round, honestly, I didn't want to be in there. I got to the end of the first round, I went to my corner team. I was like, I'm fucked, and I was just like, in my head, I didn't want to be there. I just wanted to just go home and eat some cake. But obviously, my coaches have a word. I listen to my coaches, and then the voices in my head like, what are you doing? You fucking got a European title fight. You've worked all your life to get this. And then you just learn to just make that little switch again. But deep
was
down,
that self-doubt? Or what was it?
I never have self-doubt. It's just the way I felt physically wise. I was not in... I had a lot... Don't get me wrong, I had a lot of health issues leading up to that fight, as any fight I do. So, I mean, every fight I've never been healthy, but going into that one, I just felt flat warming up, and that's confidence right there. So I'm never in any doubt 24/7 when I say, I'll fight any man, anywhere, anytime. That is generally real, and I'll fight anytime. But obviously when you're feeling terrible in your body and your body's not responding, that's a massive dip in confidence. So you just got to make that little switch again, and you just got to keep talking to yourself. What you're asking yourself, why are you here? But I'm used to that now, so I've been there that many times. And we got it done. We got the job done. We had to do what we had to do. Yeah, it was a bit scrappy, but
it's still going down as one of the best BKFC fight history. Best fights in BKFC history, though, isn't it? For sure.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, they were saying that straight after. There's been some
incredible
mad fights as well, and I'm a little bit gutted I didn't get to perform how I wanted to in training, like all the stuff we've been working. My game plan going in, I changed my game plan like literally 5 minutes before, because in my head I'm like, right, I'm just going to try and knock him out first round, which wasn't the plan.
I was going to say, is that not what your coaches tell you exactly what not to do?
So when I said it, Danny Mitchell turned around to me and was like, no. I could see him worried. And after the fight, he said to me, you said that in the rematch with Jimmy when I just come back from 2 major surgeries, and he knew I wasn't right then. And he says, you said that then, and you weren't right, and I didn't perform. I performed shit, but I said it again, and that's why I was a bit worried, I think. So I got on my coaches a bit worried, pacing about, and they could see I was just making that switch on my own. It's really intense. Everyone's quiet, and you're just you and yourself, and you've just got to make that. Yeah, you just got to keep switched on. It's mad, and it's a skill you just got to learn with.
The crowd play a factor in that as well, with where crowd are going and reacting to what's happening in the ring. Does that help you to switch from one mindset to another? Yeah,
that does as well, definitely. When you hear the fans, screaming and shouting, when you land a few shots and you can hear them backing you up, and it just gives you that push, and it definitely motivates you to carry on. And when you hear it, and like, all these people have come support me, I'm not just going to throw in the towel now and go. I've never done that anyway, but it's not in my nature. But you don't want to be there, but you just got to dig in. So it is on just in the head mentally.
Do you know, since that second fight with Jimmy though, obviously you probably came back early and you should have never fought, after your 2 surgeries. How much would you say I think Dex said it when we had him on, he said they've both improved so much.
Massively.
Going to the third fight.
Massively, yeah.
You're talking multiple levels, you'd say you've improved.
Massively.
It looks to us like you have, and obviously Dex said the same as
because
well. But do you think Jimmy has as well?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, that was... I think today is the prize fighting final 6 years ago. So, and then I went on to fight Jimmy, won the world title a year later. So it's probably 5 years ago since the rematch. So 5 years is a lot of time, and obviously adapting. So when I started bare knuckle, I was fighting MMA and I was doing jiu-jitsu. I was training half my fights, trained jiu-jitsu while competing, and it was only since after the final, when I was preparing for Jimmy, that's when I kind of took it serious and stopped jiu-jitsu, all the wrestling, and I just did boxing. And obviously, I was training in an MMA gym boxing, so I wasn't actually boxing at a proper gym. So when I made the switch, Deck retired, I said, I just messaged him. I said, listen, do you want to, because he's local to me, 20 minutes. I said, do you want to coach me? Keep him in the game, motivated, because obviously it's when you retire from boxing, they just leave you and they just, just let you figure it out for yourself, and you can lose a lot of motivation, can't you? But I just kept him on his toes, coaching me, and I had a proper boxing coach then. And then after first fight was first fight was Croydon BKFC, and I was working with Depp for a good year before that. So we was firing all cylinders after that, and every fight's just getting better. And it's it's good to see all the results every fight. Since starting with Deck to like now, he's crazy. I mean, imagine fighting Austin Trout. I wouldn't even tell him that 5 years ago. I mean, I'd have been like, get out of here. Yeah. That's not happening. And you got to believe it.
Well, unfortunately, when you did fight Austin Trout, unfortunately it didn't go your way that night.
No.
It does now look like Austin Trout is vacating.
Yeah.
And moving up.
Moving down.
Moving down. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that? I know, have you got your eyeballs on going for that world one next?
Definitely. I mean, the rematch is always there with Trout. I still want that rematch. Even if I have to move down and chase him at 155, I can move down. So,
is that what you want? Do you want a rematch with Trout? Is that something you're looking for?
In the long run, but at the minute, 165, that's my weight category, and I'm comfortable getting that world title. And now, if he vacates it, it's going to be, it's even more easier to win for me. So, not easier, but it's more, it's better. So, we've got some, we've got this European now. So the next steps is the world. But even if I have to defend the European first, whatever comes, I just want a big fight next. That's what I want. But yeah, Austin Trout, I'd love to rematch Austin Trout and get the win.
I don't think, well, not Austin Trout in particular, but in general, fighters in BKFC, I don't think they should be able to move up and down weights so easily. They just, I'm going to move. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. I think if you're lightweight, you're fighting at lightweight, like in UFC. And then if you deserved it, you can go move up the weight or down, whichever you want.
I think because he's defended it a few times, I think that's probably why he's like, no one's on my level here. But obviously, mine was a close fight.
Yeah.
It was a very close fight. And Palomino did the same. He had 2 belts, and I know what you mean. It's like he's fighting for 155, and it's got a massive hold on the 165.
Yeah.
So it's just. But Austin said he's going to move down, win the fight, and then he'll vacate it. So no one. It's going to be open to someone to fight. So that's probably the best bet. So it'll be a while yet. Probably at end of the year, early next year time he vacates it.
Yeah.
So it's plenty of time to get recovered up and go again.
Yeah.
Well, we'll build up and get on to what you're into now and what's next. But we want to take a little trip back, so go back to your early years and that, because as we mentioned in the intro going into this, it has been quite a story. You've been through quite a lot of things, health-wise, personal-wise, and traumatic-wise. There's been a lot of stuff going on in your life, getting to where you've got to today, and it really is impressive, man. So if we wind it back right to early years, from when did you first want to get into fight game? From when you were at school, when you were a little teenager? Did that appeal to you then? And obviously, when did all your health problems that you'd like to share with us?
To be fair, I've had health problems all my life ever since growing up as a kid. I've always had like problems, like underlying, and as the time goes on, I was useless at school. Failed all my GCSEs. I was useless in school. My brain just didn't work in that
You're
way.
In good company, mate.
Yeah. And I see it a lot now because I run a boxing gym in Gainsborough, and I see it with kids coming in. A lot of them struggle like with, keeping their focus. They get distracted a lot. Everyone works in different ways. Where I was the same. I was more watching things and then doing it. Where I couldn't read all right. I was useless. So I see a lot of that in my gym now, and I think this is the best thing for them, just getting a little focus, trying different things. Like I say, school didn't go to plan, and nothing for me was out there. I wasn't interested in. I did bricklaying at college. I was actually quite good at bricklaying, but when it come to theory, I didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Yeah.
So, and as soon as it got to the last year of school, that's when I started boxing, just once a week on a Sunday, just in Gainsborough somewhere. And the guy took me from there. He's like, "You need to go to Retford like 3 times a week. Come with me." And I was like hesitant. I was like, "Nah, not really. I'm quite nervous." And he took me, and that was it. I loved it. I was training 3 times a week in Retford, and then from there, about 8 months on, it was a lot of travelling. I wasn't driving at the time, so there was a gym in Gainsborough, MMA gym. So I joined there. I was like, I wasn't really interested in MMA, just like boxing. But then I got into a bit of grappling stuff, and that was it. That every day I was hooked. Every day I was there in the gym, and I was about 16. And it just changed my life ever since.
So you preferred MMA anyway, so it was kind of perfect for you.
Yeah, I mean, I love boxing, but
I'm going to say, for a guy who's predominantly a striker,
Yeah.
What did you take easy to the grappling, the wrestling side of things, and did that excite you a bit more, or did you predominantly still want to stand up and strike, but then get the defence sorted out?
Yeah,
keep it on the field, basically.
It was more that. It was more. I love striking, but when someone said to me about coming to MMA, I was like, I'm not really keen on the idea of wrestling with sweaty men. But then, you say any normal person the same thing would be like, it's a bit weird that, but until you do it, you don't understand. So when I started grappling, I thought, actually, this is all right. It's, you know, I'm learning some skills, but I still love striking. And I used to get frustrated when people used to take me down. I was like, what are you doing? Get off me. I want to stand and strike. So, but yeah, then, you know, you're just learning over the years. So I really grew to MMA, and that was it then. It was just MMA, and I wanted me first fight and stuff. I think after a couple of years I had a fight when I just turned 18, I think. Or just end of 17 years it was. So I had my first fight, and the first fight was actually in Liverpool Olympia, that place. I think Tom Aspinall was actually fighting on the same card. So I turned up, didn't have a clue who the opponent was. Anthony O'Connor he was called, and he was a purple belt jiu-jitsu. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I just put everything together. I was performing good at gym. My defence was pretty good now because everyone was trying to submit me all the time in training. So I was just working on defence and then getting back up, striking. And we went in to the fight. I had a 3-round fight. He was getting me some mad submissions, and I managed to just get out of them all. And he won the fight, you know, just by that control. But I finished the fight, and I was just annoyed because I was really competitive. But they told me after, he was Terry Etten was in his corner. He was in UFC that time. He was gold medalist jiu-jitsu, winning tournaments everywhere. So, you know, when people said that, I was like, actually, he's actually pretty good.
You've done well.
Yeah,
So
you've done well, yeah.
I actually lost my first 2 MMA fights. So when the third one happened and I won, it was amazing. It was the best feeling ever.
Did the losing the first 2, did that spur you on more, or did it make you start
did you get a
doubting?
bug?
Yeah, mate, it spurred me on more, where most people, they'll have 2 lose and they'll just quit.
Yeah, they
maybe
deterred,
go
aren't
back
they?
to
They don't
boxing
want to
or
do it
something.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like
How many amateur fights did you have then?
a lot. I probably had 30 plus MMA fights, 35 or something. Most of them were probably last minute, just on day. But yeah, a lot of. I've had probably 80 plus fights altogether, like mixed disciplines.
Because in retrospect, you started pretty late, isn't it? A lot of people, they start when they're 10, 11, whatever.
Yeah.
You started 16 with everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I started a bit later on in the career. Took me a bit longer to, you know, adapt perfect technique. Some of the kids I'm teaching now, they've got better technique than me. I've got a few 14-year-olds in gym, and they're unbelievable. Like, they're so fast because I've been doing it since 10.
Yeah.
The natural ability is just there. Easier to teach younger kids than adults. You know, you're getting bad habits.
I mean, even MMA is still a relatively young sport, and you know what I mean. So it's progressing all the time, all the techniques, and there's more and more gyms and
Crazy, isn't it?
yeah. And I mean, obviously UFC celebrated 30 years last year or whatever it was, and it's still not that old. That is it, you know.
No.
It's going to be coming on a lot more.
You just see these younger guys coming in at a high level,
Yeah,
like
animals, aren't they?
crazy, like
Technically.
20-year-olds in UFC coming in. Like Mokaev, he got in UFC when he was
Yeah.
like 21 or 19 or something. So yeah, it's
He's
mental
still
now.
undefeated as well, isn't he?
How much it's progressing. You wouldn't think it's going to progress even more, but it just keeps going more and more.
Levels are raising, aren't they? When did you hook up with Danny Mitchell? How did you end up going over to AVT then? How did that come about?
Yeah, so that was 12 plus years ago. I was training at Gainsborough. I had probably about 5 fights in Gainsborough, I think. And then the coach, Dan Gibbon, he got Danny Mitchell to do a seminar at the gym. At the time, I heard of him and I was like, oh yeah, it's quite a good name, this Danny Mitchell. I didn't really know he had a rat tail. So I knew. I was like, this guy's got a rat tail. He's pretty rough. He's ruthless. Yeah, he come in and I just loved the way he teached and taught and the way he was coaching, and we just went into detail. I learnt a lot from that seminar. I kind of got like an instant bond with him. I just felt, I like this guy. I want to be around him more. And I got news he was doing a gym in Thorn. He had one in Dewsbury, I think, at the time. And then he was going to set one up in Thorn, get loads of mats in. So I thought, I'm going to try that. So I was going, like, me and my pal went once a week. And then it was twice a week, then 3 times a week. And then next minute, I just moved over. I made that switch. But obviously, when you're at one gym and you get so far, the level's the same level. You need to progress by going to different gyms. So I always used to make that sacrifice going to different gyms. And even when I was at Danny's gym, I used to go off to different gyms and just train, like, sparring different people, and that's how you get better. And Danny's always saying that as well. Just go off and spar different people, and just make the most of it. So, and obviously when I went to Leeds, Dewsbury with him as well. So I've gone to Fawn, then Dewsbury, training with like these good fighters all the time. That's what just brought me on massively. I think getting out of your comfort zone, training with all these high level people, and with the guidance of Danny as well. Being like a big brother to me. Like I've got a big brother now, but he's like the bigger brother. Like because I was just with him like nearly every day. Like just a lot of travelling on the driving. He used to take me to. He used to corner like fights nearly every weekend, and he used to take me with him just to get experience. I wasn't doing it, me. I was just a lost
in and around it all and stuff like that.
I was just a lost young boy.
Just soaking it all up though, wasn't you?
Soaking up.
You've cornered him last time, didn't you?
Yeah, I know, that was great.
You turn it favour now.
Yeah, crazy.
And bollocking him.
Yeah, he just does what he wants. He's never had a coach, has he?
It's mad what he did with his career.
Yeah.
Without a coach, without any guidance, he just did whatever he wanted, trained how he wanted. He said he never even trained like within strategy. He just woke up in morning, whatever he felt to do, he just went and did that.
He's never had a coach from day one. Just started in his shed, just teaching. He's a bit like
incredible,
John Kavanagh's story. He's just self-taught, and he's never had a coach. Made the UFC without a coach. He's pretty bonkers.
And what he's given back to the sport as well, with the multiple gyms, and like you say yourself, from many years ago, he's been putting that back in. And when you started working with Danny, was that when you thought that this could become a career? That this could be way forward for you, to make all your income and stuff like that. And
it's always been like I just love training and being around Danny and seeing what he's doing. He was doing it full time, and I had to work as well. So I was getting a bit down because it was like I want his lifestyle. I want to work and train. I just want to train
full time.
Yeah,
as a profession.
And obviously that didn't happen. So I had to just learn on the way and working full time. And it was just, I just wanted that lifestyle, just training that was my goal, just training full time. And I can remember just working at the Steelworks full time, and I've had loads of jobs, in and out of jobs all the time, and I can remember just doing a night shift or a late shift, and I was just in a really bad mood, and I don't want to be here. I just wanted to train. I was getting annoyed because I was losing training time because I was on night shifts, and it ended up just. So I can remember I just got with my wife now. Then I got with her then, and I can remember just telling her. She didn't really understand at the time. She's like, "What do you mean? Yeah, you got to work though." But I'm like, "I know. We had a mortgage, so we had to pay the bills." And I said to her that night, I was like, "I'm going to train full time one day, and I will make it happen. Just bear with me." And she was just like, "You're bonkers, mate. That's never happening." And eventually, a good woman by my side, I made it happen. And after the Steelworks, she knew how bad I was. I was just like, I don't want to be here. I kept saying it. So I had to do something about it. And we had a talk, and we figured out the bills, and I went part-time working in a gym. I made the switch. It was a massive move because we had a mortgage to pay.
It's a huge decision at that point, isn't it? To come away from your regular income, from your job, even if it's not as glamorous as working night shifts at Steelworks, as you say, and to do that when you've got other people to support as well, it's a tough decision to make.
Yeah, massive.
You've got to be dialed in and confident that you're going to do something with it, aren't you? Otherwise, it can all.
Your wife has to believe in you as well.
Exactly, yeah. And if it weren't for her, obviously, you don't get many women saying, "Yeah, just do that." Yeah. And I'm there struggling to get money in. She's bringing all the money in mainly, and it's like for someone to understand that is pretty crazy. I always go off everything happens for a reason. Like, people are in and out of your life for a reason. So, when that happened, I went part-time and I said, look, I don't want to be here. I want to go full-time. And then I started doing PTs and stuff. And eventually I went down to like one shift a week doing PTs, and then eventually I was just doing a few PTs, and because obviously you still need a little bit of income. It's hard to get. The hardest thing is like there's no money in like MMA and boxing and stuff until you get into that high level. You've got to rely on sponsorships and just hustling, really, doing a few PTs, But when I'm doing PTs, I'm learning anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm learning as I'm doing it. I'm just winging it. I don't know how to coach. Coaching's completely different to fighting.
Of course it is.
So I just like making it up on the way, but obviously adapting the more I did it. And yeah, it was just crazy journey, really. So yeah. I got to train full
we had
time.
we had Dex Spellman. He's a coach now, and we had Johnny Graham's coach Joe in here as well. When you listen to them, the way they speak, the understanding and ability to explain stuff is completely different, isn't it? You're like, oh, so that's what coach is. Just to be able to explain it to you in the manner that you understand.
Yeah.
Just because you can do it, don't mean you can teach it.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
How have you found that then? When did you open new gym?
2022. Yeah, it was. The reason I opened it, I've always wanted to open a gym, but do you know when I rematched Jimmy and obviously took a loss, I got bad concussion. And then I think
2021, that one was
2021,
yeah.
And then I had another fight in December that year, 2021 in December, 4-ounce gloves at Cage Steel at Donny, got the win, and then I think 2 months after, in February, I went on that BYB show in America, I didn't know until a week out it was the rules were like clinch 3-minute rounds, and I went over and obviously I still want right. I just wanted to get a win, and the gyms was only just starting to open up then. So I was training my garage and that. I wasn't really training properly, and I went over. I just thought, I get to fight in America. I'm buzzing. I went over and took a loss on there as well. But I obviously watching the fight back, I did really well on that fight against that LT Nelson guy. But obviously in that triangle and stuff, it was horrendous. I hated it. I can't box to my style. I'd have to change my style a little bit. Maybe do what I did against Jimmy then, but obviously I took that loss, come back a really bad concussion after that, and then I wanted to get back in again. I was messaging the promoter like, get me in next week, and my wife was like, "What are you doing? You need a rest."
How was your health? How did you deal with that going to America and stuff? Because you were not right on them already, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously I had that surgery and stuff, and luckily, the client, my immune. So after 2 major surgeries, the surgeon said your immune system and health was not going to get back to normal for 2 years, and I rushed in after 9 months because I needed to do it just to get my health right and focus on recovery, and I don't regret anything. That was the best decision I made, even though when I got in the ring, I was like, I have to fight now. I've made it this far. So I had them 2 losses. I want great. I had loads of health issues still, but after that, that's when I had about a year out. I set up the gym. I just had a mad thought one day. I woke up, I was like, I'm going to have a bit of time off. I accepted it, and then I was like, I'm going to set up a gym, I think. I just got it in my head. I was like, I wanted to do it when I retired, but it's the best decision I ever made was set up that gym. So I was just focused on the gym. I need a focus, me. So if it's anything, if it's the gym, all my focus will be in that, and I'll still train, but not full focus. And I set up the gym, and then obviously 2022. That's when we opened, and that was the best decision I made. I was nervous, obviously opening it first, and I was like, actually, this is come round quick now. Now I'm gonna have to start coaching. Got loads of interest. And then as I started doing these classes and coaching, I was coaching a few classes before that as well. Like I was doing a boxing class on AVT Leeds in Scunny. And I was coaching for all these people asking me, and I was like, why don't I just set up my own gym? Because people was asking me to pay me to come coach. And I was like, I might as well just do it myself here. Yeah. And when I did that, best thing I ever did. And like I say, coaching, I was not a coach. So I had to just kind of adapt as I went on, and
learn on
when
the
I
way.
look back now, the coach I am now to what I was is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like the progress I've made coaching. Yeah.
Do you think your boxing's improved that as well?
Massively. I was going to get onto that. So I feel me coaching because I'm seeing it every day in the gym, seeing people. You can see people what they're doing wrong, and I'm just constantly watching and telling what they're doing wrong, and then obviously taking it into my training. When I'm training,
notice yourself if you're doing something wrong. Yeah,
I'm thinking, why am I coming off balance a little bit, and looking at my habits then. And I think my boxing's come massive. So I get on with deck, and then I'm set up my own gym, and that's just took my boxing to the next level. I think I've still got a few bad habits from MMA now, don't get me wrong. I've still got a lot of bad habits, but it works for me.
Yeah, well, Joe said, Johnny Graham's coach as well, he said, when MMA guys come and you start sparring with them, sometimes you get hit because the way they punch is weird, and because you don't see it coming.
Angles.
Yeah.
Massively,
so sometimes it works to your favor. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually spar better against boxers than I do probably MMA fighters, just because that awkwardness.
Yeah.
Because traditional boxing's just, you know what's coming, where when it's awkward MMA fighters, that's probably why a lot of MMA fighters do well in bare knuckle.
Yeah.
You know, it's awkward, isn't it?
How many guys you got coming down to the gym at the minute then? What have you built it up to?
We've got 50 plus members now, probably 55 members or something, like kids, juniors, kids, juniors, adults, and the kids is absolutely crazy at the minute. Like, they absolutely love it.
Do you feel like you're giving back to the community then? It's something
100%,
within your heart
yeah.
you've always wanted to do that kind
Yeah,
of.
definitely. I just love helping. I just don't know what it is. I just love helping people and helping them achieve their goals and whatever they want to. Like, you know, someone comes in the gym, they've never boxed before, and the next minute I'm like, do you want to fight? And it's like, nah, I don't know about that. I've got a lot of work to do. And then next minute they've had 6 fights. It's like, it's great. It's a good feeling seeing
And see their
them.
improvement
Yeah.
as well.
And they're off the streets, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of people thank me like, oh, if it weren't for you, I'm like, yeah, I can advise you and coach, but it's down to you to put the work in. And when I see people putting the work in, I give them extra time because I know they want it. But it's good to see. It's good to see the progress.
No, good. One young lad I wanted to ask you about is Josh Jones.
Josh Jones, yeah. How do you know about Josh?
It was just something you shared a few months ago, and I was like, I had a bit of a look into it, and his transformation's been absolutely incredible. I mean, wow.
Definitely. Yeah, so Josh Jones come to me in lockdown. I got on with his granddad, Richard Kane. He was a good businessman in Gainsborough. Did a bit of sponsorship with me. I've known him for a long time. He's a top bloke, and he brought Josh to me and just said, "Look, here's Josh. Just sort him out, deal with him." And he just left every week. He would just
Straight to the point. That's what you want. Instructions. Fucking deal with that.
And I was in my old house in lockdown, so obviously no gym zone. I was just doing it in my garden. And anyway, he bring him to me then, and he just like, deal with Josh. He's got a few. He's got a few demons going on. He's got a lot of mental health issues. He's overweight. He don't know what he wants to do in life. He's young, so just leave him with you. See if you can sort him out. And then he just kept turning up every week, and I wasn't really a proper coach by then because I didn't set up my gym then, and I was just winging it. So I was kind of had this guy and just didn't really speak, didn't say a word, and I was just like asking him questions. So we just went on every week and then build it up. He even wanted to do a bit of grappling, so I got mats out in my garden doing a bit of grappling, boxing, grappling, and then he was still suffering quite a bit. He was on a lot of medication, and then obviously, you know, eating a lot of food, eating the wrong foods, and then obviously I set up my gym. He didn't come straight away, but then he started coming after about maybe half a year or a year later, and then I can remember, I think it was over a year ago now. Last Christmas, I think. He started off in January. I don't think he missed a day for about a year. Like, the whole of last year, he didn't miss a day. And he was just constant, like, obsessed in that gym every day, wanting to better himself. I just kept seeing the weight dropping off him. I was like, Jesus, this he's on it. And obviously, I didn't get him a fight yet. He wanted to fight eventually. But obviously, getting him sparring, I just kept seeing he kept turning up and, you know, he was putting in the work, and then eventually I got him a fight as well, and he won his first fight.
Oh,
so I'll buzz it.
When was that?
Wow.
That was last year. Sometime like there's that many fights go off. It was sometime last year, but I think he's had about 5 now.
Okay.
So he's had
He's
5
doing
fights.
In
really
space of what, 1 year or so?
Yeah, I think it's something like 6 stone he lost or something crazy. 6 stone, and he's come off all his medication. He's a complete changed man, and now he's like, his muscles are coming through. He's quite ripped now, you know what I mean? And he's still working. He's still got a load of work to do, but his mental clearance is amazing. Do you know what I mean? He's just focused. He still don't know what he wants to do and stuff. He's still figuring that out, but he's
But the discipline helps
Yeah,
him.
track for sure. isn't it?
yeah, 100%. Wow. He's got another little strength conditioning nutrition coach as well, Paul Cook in Gainsborough. He goes to him once a week, and he just gets him on the right track with his diet. His diet's good. His diet's really good, and you know, he's got some strength now. So now he wants to get into a bit of grappling. So I'm sending him to Danny Mitchell, or sending him to AVT, and he's going to do a bit of grappling a couple of times in the day.
It's
and then
probably
he'll
the
come
best
to me.
place to do it, yeah.
Yeah, and I think he'll do well grappling. Yeah, Big Josh Jones. We call him the beekeeper because he's actually a beekeeper as well.
Oh, is he? Oh, so that's not a joke.
So his granddad, his granddad Richard. He's got loads of bees and that, so he sorts out all the bees, gets his costume on, and in one point was having his bee. His honey in the gym. We'll sell it in the gym. Yeah, so he sells his honey.
Little side hustle as well.
Ring walkout. He could come with the suit.
It's the big bee costume. God's sake, yeah. So
that's great work.
That's just one person, and there's quite a few in the gym that's transformed their lives around. And
you say that sort of thing's got to be rewarding for yourselves and other guys that are in there coaching these guys. But again, like you say, these guys who are coming to do this, they've got to have that motivation themselves, haven't they? They've got to want it, and they've got to keep coming, like you say, almost every day for a full year. That's what separates people. People that get somewhere to where they want to be and want to change their life. And in this guy's instance, it must be rewarding for you guys.
It definitely is. People come in the gym and times get a bit hard. They have a few bad sessions and they're just easy to give up in it and they just quit. And then the people that stay, then they're the people you think actually he's got something about it if he's carrying on after that. So you just got to see what happens.
Do you think? Obviously, you give back to community and you do all this work in gym, and help people with mental problems and stuff like that. Do you think, when you're in bad spot in your life, whatever happens, and when you're there, you have to go there because it's your gym and you're helping people. Do you think that kind of keeps you sane as well? It helps you
massively
focus on stuff.
Yeah, I was
especially when you haven't got a fight lined up.
Exactly.
It gives you purpose, doesn't it?
I did say this. I probably said it to my wife quite a few times. I've had a bad day. Like I've been stressed. I've got a health issue. Something goes wrong. I have a setback. And it's like, I don't want to go to the gym tonight. I'm not in the right frame of mind. But I'll turn up and it's a kids session. And them kids just give me energy. And I'm just like, I'll go home and I'm like a brand new man. And I feel amazing after I've been to the gym. So for me, the gym's like getting away from everything else as well. So it clears when I'm in the gym, I'm just focused on coaching. I'm obsessed. So everything else in my day-to-day life is just out the window. I don't think of it. Same with training, sparring. I'm focused on that, and everything else is gone.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your incredible motivation to get over obstacles and stuff like that, because we have touched a few times on your health problems and your illnesses growing up and all the way through your career. Obviously, you've suffered a lot from colitis.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that and how it affected you, particularly coming up to the prime years of your career, and how it tied in with the first and the second fights, and eventually the whole trilogy with Jimmy Sweeney coming on that, and how that held you back and how you overcome that, mate. Yeah,
so obviously I started with colitis. I've had colitis probably most of my life. It takes a while to come out, and when it comes, it's horrendous. So it started after my mum died. When my mum passed away, I was having, for about a year before that, I was going to hospital for about a year, asking, I've got all these problems, and then eventually the stress makes it a lot worse and has these flare-ups. So stress is the one that flares it up and makes it a lot worse if it's not under control. And so all my career, all my fights, I've had, I'm losing a lot of blood out my rectum and stuff. So I've never been healthy in a fight all my career. Even Danny's been there warming me up. I'm running to the toilet. He's like, you sure you want to fight? He's just concerned. And I'm like, but now he knows me. So he's just like,
You'll do it anyway. Yeah.
He's all right. He's sound. His intestines hanging out his stomach, but he's all right.
It's a difficult subject to approach, isn't it? You know what I mean? Because it's an intimate part of your play. It's a weird thing to talk about for your coach and that. Until he gets used to what's going on.
But honestly, if you hung around with me and Danny, if you was around us and you heard the conversations, we don't take out serious. Like, you got a problem. I'm dying, I'm ill or something. We'll still have a joke about it. Do you know what I mean? Even when I was in hospital thinking I was dying, Danny comes out with something, just makes a joke about it, and
just like sew it up and back on.
And that's what it's got to be, isn't it? You can't be just being negative about it all the time. You got to bring
some of them vlogs Danny does with you boys. Jesus, oh wow,
it's wild, honestly.
Comedy gold, isn't it?
Yeah. So obviously, all my career, just fighting with the colitis and illness. So I just think it's normal because I don't know what 100% feels like. So I just get used to feeling like shit every morning. I wake up every morning, I've got chronic fatigue, But I just get on with it because I think it's normal. But
even now,
becoming a world
now.
champion with a fucking life-changing illness is not normal, mate.
It's not. It's not normal. And even now I just wake up and obviously today, like now, is a little bit different because I'm doing a lot of good nutrition work, and I'm actually in process of healing the guts. We'll get onto that, but every morning I'll just waking up in fight camps, chronic fatigue, not wanting to get up and train. I never get up and motivated, never. I've just forced it in a good habit of just getting up every morning and getting on with it. And for me, it's just that consistency of just turning up every day turning up and just putting in that work, and that's what gets me where I am today. And if it weren't for that hard work, I would not be here, because that's what just takes over everything. And obviously all these fights have just been severely ill, but I never made it an excuse. Never. Like even my losses, the rematch with Jimmy, I've never made it an excuse, because that's my choice of getting in there the way I feel. And I know I've got the health issues, but it's my choice, so it falls down. If I lose, it's my problem.
Yeah. Well, I was going to mention that later, but I'll mention it now. I watched quite a lot of stuff about you and I follow you and everything. And what's crazy is never once I've heard you saying, "Oh, it's not fair," or you know why, and you just kind of get on with it, don't you? Which is a bit mind blowing to me, because anybody at some point would say, "You know what, this is maybe." And I've never heard you say anything like that, even close.
Some people can't even operate with a cold, can they?
No.
They're out, they're laid in bed for fucking
that's
days.
me.
Yeah.
You're not in bed for a week if you've had 3 beers.
if I have fever, that's it. I'm gone, mate.
Yeah. Like I say, I've just learned to live with it, learn to train with it. I can remember sparring Mark Diakese before surgery in lockdown, because obviously no one was training, and I was pissing blood out my arse. This was when it was bad, just before surgery. And I can remember getting booted in the stomach, running to the toilet, getting back in the cage. Danny was there just like, "You're fucking nuts."
Back in.
Were he in UFC then as well?
Yeah, Mark was preparing for. I think he was preparing for Dan Hooker in Dubai, because he didn't.
Fuck, from all the people.
But he didn't have people to spar with, Pop, because it was lockdown. No one was fit, no one was ready, no one was trained. But I was always ready, and that was the one main thing. Dan was like, "I know a guy that's ready." So I just me and Mark was trained, and I was buzzing with MMA at the time, and I was like, I wanted to get on some big shows, and obviously I had surgery after that. But I can remember just taking that, and it was just like just ploughing through. I used to turn like 4 hours on chemo drip or whatever it was, biological treatment, straight to sparring after. And it's like, when I think of it now, it was pretty mad, but it's created who I am today.
Yeah.
I think that's
built a character, if you will.
That's what's done it.
Incredible.
Yeah, we've been just talking about it before and stuff like that, and obviously you know more about the illness stuff now, and you touched on there about your gut health and stuff, that you know how to look out for it a bit more. But it did take you a while, didn't it? You were maybe a little bit in denial about how serious it was for a little bit, and sort of ignoring it and hoping it would sort of deal with itself, and that you could carry on as normal.
Yeah, that's why I've probably had surgery, because I've just ignored it for like 10 years. But obviously when it first happened, I was losing all this blood and having these severe cramps and pains. I couldn't live my normal life. It's constantly bloated. And then I still didn't take... When they diagnosed me, there was like, "You've got severe ulcerative colitis. We need to get in some treatments now, like strong treatments. It's quite serious." I still didn't take it serious. I was just like, I'm back training tomorrow anyway. Like, I didn't take it serious. And then my mum passed away, and that was on my mind. So I was going through this illness, and then my mum passed away, so I was trying to grieve, and it was the worst time in my life. I never, when times get hard, I always just think of that spot and just think of what I've been through that. If I can go through that, then this is easy, just having a bare knuckle fight.
It's a good reference point to have, mate, isn't it?
And obviously that stress from my mum passing away, I never thought it would happen, and then it did, and then that's what caused me to flare up twice as much. And that's what caused everything worse. And then I can remember the first treatment I got on, I got rushed into... My brother had to take me A&E because I was having heart attack symptoms. Rushed me in straight on morphine. They thought I was having a heart attack.
How old were you then?
Me. 21, 22. I was getting treated for an heart attack, but it wasn't. I was allergic to the treatment.
Oh, nice.
So I think I was alert to every treatment I think I had. So, yeah, even that one that was sticking in veins, I got a massive rash everywhere and boils on my back, and I was getting infected. So every treatment, I was just rejecting it. I don't know what it was about my body. My body just wasn't working right all my life. I've always had this problem, but obviously 2019 when I started that tournament, I took another treatment, and this was keeping it under control. So I was in a bit of remission, and that's obviously I went on to win the world title then.
This is sort of when you moved into bare knuckle.
Yeah.
And then so you say your first ever fight that you were having on there, Jimmy Sweeney were headlining that card, was he?
Yeah.
And then you sort of this give you
I was
focus.
like,
Then I'm thinking I want this guy.
Was that the year you had 3 or 4 fights?
Yeah, 2019 I had 4 fights. I had the tournament and then went on to beat Jimmy as well, yeah.
With the illness as
broken
well.
hand.
Broken hand and an illness.
Broken hand, yeah.
Well, that's it. By chance, it just flashed up just before we started on his camera. It flashed up on his phone that it was 6 years ago today. Maybe
Today,
something
the final, the prize fighter final, beat James Canelli in a 7-round brutal fight. Do you know what that last Jimmy fight in Italy reminded me of that fight, the final, because it was like a long camp. I didn't. You know, it was a brutal camp, overtraining, trying to balance it right, and like I say, I was still doing a bit of jiu-jitsu at the time and stuff. But it was that fight. It was just a brawl. It was not. You didn't even think. It was just a lot of pressure. It was just a scrap, and it was the same with Jimmy. Like it was just a fight. I didn't perform how I wanted to. So sometimes you just got to swing it out.
Yeah.
That's it again, to go through a whole tournament like that. As you say, you had a broken hand at the time. I know you'd be taking injections in there and stuff to numb it off, and to get through a tournament, to get to the final where the prize is to face Jimmy Sweeney, a legend at BKB already at that time, for a world title. I mean, there's some motivation, but to do it with a broken hand as well as everything that's going on.
Yeah.
What would you say your biggest achievement is then?
Biggest
World
achievement?
champ, European champ.
Getting on this podcast.
Yeah.
Probably getting on here. Biggest achievement is probably just not giving up.
I think I heard you say, after you beat Jimmy first time, then into the second one, you had a lot of health problems and you lost. And I think I heard you on another podcast saying that it was such a big achievement in that moment in time just to get back from 2 operations to, being
back
in a
in
really bad place.
Yeah.
To come back to fight for a world title again, even though you lost, I think you said after you still felt relieved.
Yeah.
And almost, obviously not happy and pissed off
That you could fight at all, yeah.
To actually go through that and to come back to fight for a world title again, I mean, it's just, wow.
I think that definitely is the biggest achievement, from nearly dying in a hospital bed to getting in the ring to fight. Not even people like, are you having a steady fight back in? I'm like, no, I'm fighting for a world title. First fight after 2 surgeries, I'm fighting Jimmy Sweeney, like ready to fucking knock my head off. He was ready, do you know what I mean? So
he said the second fight he
Yeah.
was ready. He said
Yeah,
that's
he
the
said-
first time when he really switched on. He said, I've got to be 100%, otherwise he's going to beat me. He literally said that.
Yeah, he said that.
I know, and it was he meant business in that time. And yeah, I can remember when he knocked me down after the first round. At the end of the first round, he knocked me down and caught me. Can't remember a single thing for the whole fight. I went to the corner after. I think someone got it on camera, and Danny was like, I said, "Oh, is this the last round?" He's like, "No, it's the second round." And he's like, "Oh shit!" And that there, I was like, "All right, shit." And then I can't remember. It went to the 4th round somehow. I can't even remember it. I can't even remember that fight. It was just wild for me.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, for me, it was just getting in the ring. And then when I got in the ring, it was just like, shit, I'm fighting now. You could even see on the video, like, I would have stood there, not even moving, just looking. Normally I'm pacing about, but I just know when I'm just not ready.
Normally you're really good with distance and closing quick, and you weren't doing any of that.
Nah, it was just on
And
autopilot.
I was looking at it and I was thinking, what's going on here? Because you were a very different fighter from the first fight.
Yeah.
And you could tell something's off. You
Yeah.
couldn't.
There was a few things in camp. I had a good camp, to be fair. I was sparring But I was getting sucked into pro boxing. I was sparring 2 pros twice a week, heavy, when I wasn't doing anything in MMA gloves where I normally do. So that was a big one I made a mistake on as well. But you learn from it, don't you? So
Were you wary about, obviously you'd had a bag fitted at that point by the time this rematch come around the second, were you wary about that? And what do you do during a fight to cover? Is it just under the belt of your shorts, or is there something else?
yeah, so the groin guard, I just have the groin guard that comes over the stoma, and that protects it. And obviously, the first spar, to be fair, not even the first spar, I just thought, it's good to be back sparring. And every time I spar, I don't even think about it, which is good. Obviously, if I did, it would play a massive part. And I kind of just forget it's there. I do forget it's there now. You just learn to live with it.
You don't want to be thinking about moving your body a different way to try and avoid contact.
Until someone hits it, I'm like, oh shit, that hurt. And then we go again. But no, you just forget it's there now and just crack on.
I'm going to ask you, what are your thoughts on Jimmy then? I mean, how many rounds have you two shared together?
16.
16 rounds.
2 European title fight, 2 world title fights. So yeah.
And plus you've sparred together, and then you're friends now, aren't you?
Yeah, so we've had two spars together, 16 rounds in the spar as well, like all together. So we've had a lot of rounds together, and we are good pals now. Yeah, so
you've come out 2-1 up. Is that it? Are you done with Jimmy now?
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
You've had enough of him.
Sick of seeing Jimmy. No, he's
a nice fella, but fuck it, we don't.
Yeah, I just think trilogy is a trilogy. It's
it's a decisive thing, isn't it?
I think they was trying to get like a 4 in there, and they was trying to get like a 4 for this year and stuff. But it's like, I've won 2, he's won 1. That's a trilogy for a reason, and obviously we'll go 4. Jimmy wins a 4th, we'll go a 5th.
It's never ends.
It's just constant.
Yeah, you got to draw a line under it at some point.
And to be fair, the last fight, it looked like you were both in really, really good shape.
Yeah.
And you both performed at your best, and the best man won.
And from a fan's point of view, are you going to top that fight as well? Are you going to put on a show?
It all went down to that 6th round, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's like a perfect ending, really.
Yeah. I think if we fought again, it's going to be hard to beat that fight.
Yeah.
I think if we do fight again, it could happen, and I think if we do, it would be for a world title or something like that. So, we could cross paths again.
What do you think would be next for Jimmy?
I think he's on about.
He said straight after, he says, what, he deserves a top fight after that.
Definitely.
That performance he put in.
I mean, I think he's going to be fighting in Italy again on Gabriel's show. It looks like it's going to be September, October time. I think they're ready to announce it in the next few weeks. Obviously, they were trying to get me on, but I'm not fighting probably for the rest of the year now, so I'm getting my health right. But yeah, Jimmy's confirmed he wants to fight in there, so as long as he's rested his brain a little bit and took a lot of time to recover, because it's a lot of trauma, that fight.
Well, some of them pictures after when you were both in war together. It was like, wow.
Like, I mean, that's a story itself in that medical room in hospital after. It was that was wild. No one's seen anything like it. It was quite scary, to be fair.
It does it all how brutal it is when you see the immediate injuries, like give it an hour or two when they all start coming out.
I mean, when it's in the 5th round and it's out here already, it's Jesus.
It's a brutal sport.
What's crazy about that, neither you broke a bone, is that right?
I think Jimmy did. I think I'm not 100% with Jimmy. I think he I swear he broke his hand or something, and I'm not sure. But I didn't break anything. Yeah. It was weird. It was.
Do you know? Yeah. Jimmy, as a fighter, because you fought with him more than anybody. Yeah. How is he as a fighter? How awkward is he? Or difficult to fight, or is it just as anybody else?
Attributes?
Yeah. He's good at dictating the pace a little bit. We notice that in sparring, he'll kind of hypnotise you into a little. He's kind of pace. Mode, yeah. Where I'm just a nice, fast pace where I slow down to his style a little bit, and then boom, he'll explode in. And that's when he'll get you. And
he's good on back foot as well, isn't he?
He's very good on the back foot. He's a very good boxer, and he's very clever.
Punch, isn't he?
He's very clever, and he hits hard as well. And obviously, in that fight, I noticed he was coming in with different angles with his shots. He was coming over and under, and they're the ones that I was catching quite well.
Third round, he seemed to have quite a lot of success with that, didn't he?
Third round, he was very explosive. Jimmy likes to go on the back foot a lot, but obviously he had to change his style up, because if he stayed like that, I'd have won every round. And I'm comfortable just putting that pressure on. And obviously when he was running forward a little bit, coming with me, then I can start to show some of my back foot skills as well, like the check up. But his boxing is very good. He's very clever.
How does he compare to like Austin Trout?
Yeah, like I say, everyone's different fighters. His style is completely different. Where Trout is just very slippery, very hard to get close to. And obviously his stance is southpaw, and the way his foot position was, it was very hard to engage and get close to him. And every time you thought you were there, next minute he's gone. Yeah. I mean, to fight someone at his level, world-class level, he's 12 rounds with Canelo, ex-world champion.
He beat Miguel Cotto as well, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So
been in with Jamal Charlo.
Yeah. It's like, and then
wow.
just a young chavvy from Gainsborough to turn up and fight.
Stood 5 rounds with him.
Walking him down in the last round as well, with hands by his side.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's mental, isn't it?
Is he not in top 3 pound for pound at minutes, Troy?
He's in BK, he's second, I think.
Yeah.
And again, in health-wise, you weren't 100% again, weren't you?
Do you know what? I did feel really good for that fight. I switched on and I actually performed the way I wanted to perform. Obviously, it was a loss, but it didn't really feel like a loss because I was happy with my performance. Where the Jimmy fight, I wasn't really happy because I got into a slugfest and I felt like shit. But for that Austin fight, you could see I wasn't just getting into a scrap. I was in and out on my toe. I couldn't really afford to do it in the first because it would have probably just got me finished. So I had to be clever, and we obviously with my coaches, we had a good game plan. And I stuck to it and I was disciplined with it. And the plan was try and box him for 3 rounds. See where we get. In the last two rounds, if it didn't work, just try and stick it on him, and that's what we did. Yeah, even though we had to headbutt a few punches coming in, it was worth. Yeah, so
well, you're going to take some shots in this game, really, aren't you?
So if I rematched him, we know what to do next time, and it would just be completely different.
Gas.
Yeah,
foot on gas.
From round 1, it would just be sticking it on him. And Austin's last fight that went 6 round as well, didn't it?
Was that against Trinidad?
Trinidad and Snake. And obviously, it was quite a steady fight. I had tried a few problems going in. He was going to pull out of the fight. He had a few problems, but we turned up and performed. And there was a lot of back and forth with that fight. People were saying it was a boring fight, but he had to do what he had to do. He's a clever fighter, and it shows how much I want it. And me and Jimmy, obviously, in that last round, we left everything out there.
Yeah.
Where there was the last round of the fight. Austin is the champion. So Snake he has to put it on him, and he didn't do anything. He was just backing off in the 6th round. It's like you're fighting for a world title fight. You want to be headbutting punches.
Yeah. What do you think about Carlos Trinidad? Do you think if he vacates and moves down weight, which is rumoured to, or that's what he's coming out and saying, could it be a possibility of you two fighting for a vacant belt?
Yeah, 100%.
I can't lie. I've not seen much of Carlos Trinidad.
Yeah, I think he's a cunt, to be honest. I think he's a bell end. I don't, do you know what? I don't even know the guy. But I can remember I did a little podcast or interview before, and it was when he's trying to get that world title fight. I'm trying to get it. I don't shit talk anyone, and there was a comment he put on some kind of interview, and he just commented saying. He's basically getting a bit personal. He don't know me and I don't know him, and he just put a comment saying something about my illness and my bag. He said something about you're the only bitch on here. I've got a screenshot of it, and he said something like you're the only bitch on here who shits into a bag or something, or who's got the bag on your stomach. So he's basically saying I'm a bitch because I've got a bag on my stomach. So after that, I'm just like. If I ever see him face to face, he's getting a slap. Like no matter what, I don't give a fuck. He's getting a slap.
It's in ring or a corridor somewhere. That's it.
There's only 2 people who's took the piss out of me, like personally, getting like I don't mind banter me. Anyone can call me cunt and call me names, but if you're getting personal with health issues, like I nearly died from, you're gonna get a slap. And Conor Turney knew about that as well. He's a little cunt, and he said the same thing. And he got personal. He deleted his message, but I've got the screenshot. He said. Karma's having a bag on your stomach, and he took the piss out of me bag on the stomach.
Did he apologise for that?
He did in the end when I approached him, but I don't go into detail about that. But
it's crossing lines, isn't it?
Yeah, we've all got to sell fights, haven't you? But these lines, like you're saying, it's good to seek respect, and that's what everybody wants to see. Obviously, people are going to have banter at each other. They're going to throw insults and stuff like that.
People probably do it. Conor Turney's done it just for social media and probably just to wind me up.
A bit of clout.
But. I don't mind people winding me up, but obviously when it gets a bit personal, if it's to do with my illness, health, or my mum or something personal, you're gonna get a slap. But Snake, going on to him again.
Go on.
I don't know why he's called Snake. Is that his actual real name, or is he just a little worm? But he's gonna Yeah, listen, if I fought him, he won't want to fight me. I'd fucking dismantle him. He won't want to. He's not on my level. He's a good little boxer, just tip tapping, but he don't want that. He don't want it as much. Like it just showed in that fight with Trout. He don't want it. He's just like on the back foot jabbing in the last round in a world title fight. Yeah. That's how much he wants it. Where me and Jimmy are slugging it out, looking like Quagmire. Yeah. So there's a difference. He's number 1 ranked in the world. So under Trout, Jake Lindsay's number 2, and I'm number 3. So Jake Lindsay, I've got respect for Jake Lindsay. He knocked out Tierney, and he's always been respectful on social media. He's just a real fighter like me. We're just real fighters. We don't shit talk. We just want to get in there and have a fight, and then
best man win.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get people like your Snake and Tierney. They just do a lot of shit talking, but you've got to have your shit talkers as well, haven't you? I get it. You do. Like, look at McGregor. But,
he's done well from shit talking. Yeah, you're quite right.
He's a king of shit talk.
He backs it up though, usually, to be fair.
Exactly, yeah. So you've got to have your shit talkers because that's what sells the fights. Yeah. But it's just getting personal.
You're going to piss people off, aren't you? I mean, look at Khabib.
Exactly.
He pissed him off big time, didn't he? I mean, he's never going to forget that fucker, is he?
So it's just that getting personal, but that's what pisses me off. And so I'd love to fight that Snake and give him a good hiding.
So you said a few minutes ago there, you said that you're not looking like you're going to be back in ring for the rest of this year. Is that something, decision you've made yourself or with your coaches and stuff like that? You're wanting to give yourself that rest to get yourself back into peak performance for a potential fight with people like
exactly,
Snake?
Yeah. So exactly. So obviously, even Lindsay, he fought for the world title before. I think I can't remember who he lost to now for the world title. I think it was that Go-Go guy who. He went to Karate Combat. He was the world champ before Trout. But, yes, one of them two, Lindsay, Snake, I'd like to go to America and get that world title shot. Yeah. I'm not in a rush, even if I have to have another fight back. But, yeah, I'm just going to have a break. I've decided to have a break. Mm-hmm. So before the Austin Trout fight, I needed a major surgery again because the disease has come back. So I've had a lot of time. Obviously, I come short in that fight with Trout, so I couldn't relax. I needed another win. I just wanted to get, and this is the right time. Now I've got the belt. I've got 2 surgeries to have. I've got 1 little surgery and then 1 big surgery, and it's quite a big surgery. And so this is the right time to have it done. I've got an appointment with a surgeon next week, and I'm going to get booked in as soon as possible, get recovered up, and I'll be ready by the end of this year. No, 100%. I'll be ready.
You want a full training camp after that, then?
Yeah.
You've obviously deserved that with your last fight as well, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. So these last 2 fights have been. I can't do another fight camp the way I've just done. It's not healthy. I can't perform the way I wanted to. When you've got all these health problems going on, like I said, I don't like making excuses, but I just can't perform the way I have. Like I can't have another training camp the way I felt in that camp. So I'm going to just get my health right. I'm doing a lot of fasting and health stuff at the minute. I'm already ready. I'm preparing for surgery right now as we speak, and I've got a 3-day fast starting tomorrow. So we're building it up, and then before surgery, I'm going to do a 5-day fast.
So you're not far off weight now, are you? You were saying earlier.
I'm about 77 kilo at the minute. I weighed myself this morning. Fight is 74, so Trout, I'm coming for 155 after this. But no, I want to get my health right and do everything right, and I can just focus on my health in this time. Once I get recovered, it'll be interesting if I ever feel 100%. And that's the feeling. I believe I will with this guy I'm on with now. So this nutritionist I'm on with, I believe I'm going to be 100%.
Well, it's just another hurdle, mate, and you keep clearing them, as we've heard already, you know what I mean? So I'm sure you'll clear this one as well.
Definitely.
Get yourself over to the States and get that fight.
Yeah. I love a challenge. Like, I love... After that 2 major surgeries, it's like I've done what I've done it, and it's like I want to do it again. It's weird.
That second surgery as well worse than the first one?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, even though the first one was 9 hours keyhole surgery.
So you're awake?
No, the second one.
The second one you were awake.
Yeah. So 4 weeks after that, I was getting really bad blockages. I was getting rushed in, like ambulanced in all the time. It was horrendous. Thought I'd dying. I probably didn't eat with a blockage for about 5 days, I think. And I was really bad. And I went in. There's like, we've done a scan. We've got some stitches internally too tight that's causing blockages, strangulating the intestine. So it was like, right, you need surgery tomorrow. I was like, shit. I'm not even prepared. It's like, you got to be awake for it. I'm like, you're joking.
Why?
I was like, why? He's like, because it's COVID. last minute emergency surgery. You got to go in like straight away, first thing in the morning. So I'm like preparing myself like for this being awake surgery, and I'm like, I'm not up for this. This is a bit ruthless.
Yeah.
And that was just a different stage of like, just a different stage of it. And when I went in, they gave me like an epidural in my back. And I can remember getting this needle in my back. It's like, bend down on this pillar. And then the next minute, the needle was in halfway. And he was like, right, you've gone up. You need to bend down again. I'm like, bending down with this needle in my back. And I could just feel my back just like absolutely horrendous pain. So they put the epidural in, then obviously I was numb from the bottom onwards. And then obviously had a bit of pain relief, sedated. And the next minute it was like, they put this sheet here and I could just feel them prodding inside. And eventually I'm just like, fuck, I need to switch off. So I just end up like dozing in and out of consciousness, but it was only like a couple of hour surgery. And after that, I still had no food in my system. So they was giving me like, instead of giving me like in the veins, in the cannula or whatever, like they was giving me like tramadols and fucking ibuprofen and everything, like all through orally. So on an empty stomach, it was messing. I had bad guts anyway. Yeah. They should have known this, but they didn't, and they're sticking it in.
Your microbiome and stuff like that.
Take a paracetamol, empty stomach, never mind all that stuff.
So I had severe. I had all it was green acid in my stomach. So I was taking these oral tablets, and I was severely sick for 48 hours, and. So I just had stomach surgery, and I'm trying to spew up, but I can't spew up because I can't tempt my stomach. So I'm there for like 2 days, just feeling sick's probably the worst feeling ever. For me, feeling sick is the worst feeling. Like I'd rather have pain, but feeling sick for 2 days, and then they were sticking things down my throat trying to get this like acid out, and I was spewing it back up, and it was just nothing was coming out because I wasn't eating. So it was that was probably the worst surgery I've ever had. That was horrendous.
Wow.
It don't sound great, and I was going to go for a carvery after this. I think. No, but it must be so fucking hard to come through stuff like that constantly. Yeah. And once you think you've got it done and over with, as you said, you've spent some time in remission and stuff like that, you must think that maybe it works over and then it comes back, and to keep having to do it again and again and again, it's some determination and tenacity to keep getting back to where you are, to be holding a belt again here today, mate.
It makes it all worth it, and it makes it whenever things go wrong in my life now, and I have a setback or something drastic happens or health issue, and it's like when I come off the cliff the day after my wedding. I fell off a cliff.
Stuff. You heard that?
No, what?
I come off a cliff. I just got married in Cyprus.
Fell off the cliff.
Listen to this.
It was like a cliff edge. I exaggerate a bit, but it was like a 10-foot cliff, 10-foot cliff, and we got married in Cyprus on the whatever day it was, and I do know the day, but so the day after we went jet skiing, and we come back, and my brother's 2 kids were there. We just finished jet skiing. We come along this little coast along the beachfront, and there's a cliff edge, 10 foot. I was shadowboxing with my niece. She's only 5 or 6, and was messing about. Was waiting for some other people to come, and she was coming forward messing about, and I didn't realise the cliff edge were here. She ran forward, and I just stepped back. Next minute, I looked, and I was like, I was falling off. I kind of jumped back, and I just fell off, and I was like. As I was mid-spin, I had time to like spin, look, and then think, oh, fuck. Because as I looked, I thought, oh, it's going to be water or sand, and it was fucking rocks.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Also, you fell on rocks?
Sort of black rocks. Yeah, black, sharp rocks on the floor.
You know.
So as I was spinning on my front, so I had to like kind of instantly think quick, and I managed to like land on my hip, and then my arm went, smashed my arm, and then my head just rebounded off the rock. Split all my head open, and it was bad. Didn't knock me unconscious. I tried to get up straight away. I couldn't move because my hip was that bad. I thought my niece come off, and when I realised she didn't come off, I could relax, and I was like, "Fuck!" If she'd come off, she'd have been dead.
Wow.
And that instantly just thought that's all that was on my mind was her straight away, and I thought, "Shit, glad she didn't come off. I'll be all right." And I was just like, and then. Everyone were panicking, coming down. These lifeguards come down and holding my head. And next minute, there's blood everywhere, just seeping out, and it's just a sharp stinging pain on my head. But I was fine. As soon as I hit the deck, as soon as I realised my niece was all right, I started like meditating.
So the hip it wasn't broken, the hip.
No,
just
I didn't break a
dislocated.
bone again.
You made out of rubber.
I'm just like, I'm not human.
Just bounced off.
I don't know. I didn't break a bone again.
Did you have issues after that?
Yeah, I had a few brain issues after it, but I managed to get it sorted. Just had a few little problems after that, but yeah, that was a mad time. But instantly, so this is what I was getting off. So I had a life-changing little issue. Then I smashed my head on the floor. I could have been dead, but in the moment, one of my coaches, John Bottom, gets on a lot of mind coaching stuff and meditation, and I've been doing it with him. And as soon as I hit the deck, I thought, all right, that's happened now. I can't do it about it. Instantly thought, that's happened for a reason. And let's just focus. I got into a little meditated state for about an hour.
Straight immediately after?
Yeah, just straight after. I just like closed my eyes. And my brother come down. He was panicking like, obviously, I didn't realise, but they try and keep you awake. Because obviously, if they don't want you to fall asleep if you got a brain problem, because it can make it worse. So
I think you can go into coma, don't you, or something like that.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make. My brother kept shouting, Rico, kept like, you awake? I was like, yeah. I was, leave me alone. Everyone, leave me alone. I was trying to meditate. I was just relaxing. I thought I was in Maldives on my honeymoon again, just chilling. So I was just trying to relax, and then I just went to hospital. It was quite a scary time as well. Obviously, rushed to hospital. Brace on my neck. I thought I was fine until I got into the Greek hospital. I thought, all these foreigners, they didn't have a clue what was going on. I thought, the way they're acting, something's bad's happening here. But luckily it come back clear. The worst thing they did was stick a cannula in, straight in, because I thought I was having surgery. But I was like, what are you doing with that? I was like, you're not putting that anywhere near me. And it's like, yeah, we have to put it in. I was like, oh God. And that was probably the worst pain, having the cannula in.
Yeah.
But after that Jimmy fight, when I went to hospital, I was in more pain after the fight than I was coming off a cliff. Yeah, obviously
What was your head like?
Swollen, like
Throbbing.
that migraine swelling. Yeah, it was just constant, like horrible migraine. So luckily after a couple of weeks it went.
What were you two talking?
We're just like, let's do it again. No.
Trying to get
you ready to go again? No, we're both.
You'd be like, I could get your jaw from here. You come.
we're just like fucking hell. Well, Jimmy was in this intensive bit at the start. Obviously, when we did that, I went to a little ward after, and then they wheeled Jimmy in next to me. But Jimmy was fast asleep, snoring. And I thought, lucky bastard, I can't sleep. I couldn't sleep all night, because I was wired, concussed. And I just kept looking over at Jimmy, then looking at me, and then looking at the doctors coming in and looking at us like, what the fuck are you two been doing? And it was mad. Everyone just kept looking at us coming in, like both bust up. And I kept looking and thinking. I had a bit of time to reflect and like think. It was weirdly a peaceful moment. After all that carnage, I was just in hospital looking at me and Jimmy going, this is some memories right here. Thinking, why the fuck do we do this? And it's like, it's mad really. Like people, all the nurses and doctors coming in, like people gathering around us like, oh, look at these. Like it was like some sort of creatures, like some sort of aliens or something. People like don't understand it, but it was a mad moment, that, both in hospital. And obviously when he woke up, the doctor couldn't really hear him because he's like, his jaw was hurting. He just woke up after that. I didn't sleep, so my eyes were open, but the blood like stopped his eyes from opening, so they had to like peel his eyes open and stuff. And it was just a mad moment. And then we both went and we had to go in this eye test thing together. So we both so we both actually walked to this little bit and got our eyes done and got stitches, and we both just his coach gave me a Kinder Bueno bar. When our wives come in, the worst bit on the night, as soon as it happened, my wife come in and just seen us like in that state. It must have been horrible for her and all. So
it's going to be a shocking sight, isn't it? Because she was chancing you for a bit, so inside everything's going to start swelling up a bit more, and that's like,
pretty wild, isn't it? Straight, and obviously after your fight, you just want to eat, and I couldn't eat. I had to fast. In hospital, so I'm like, I'm probably cutting weight again. All I wanted to do was eat. I was starving. Obviously, you couldn't eat or drink out. I couldn't even have a drink. My mouth was dry as out, so it was pretty crazy. Yeah.
And with meditation and this, you started doing visualization as well, don't you? How long have you been doing that? And have you been seeing benefits of that?
I've probably been doing it without knowing. I was doing it without knowing for that Jimmy fight, first fight. Obviously, in that tournament, when I first signed up to the tournament, it's like you have an 8-man tournament, winner gets to fight Jimmy Sweeney for the world title. And when I entered it, I already switched to fighting Jimmy Sweeney. It was like, I'm doing all this. Like my vision was just Jimmy Sweeney fighting him. I was obsessed with him. He was the best in the game. And I looked up to him. He was the man. And in my head, I was just like, I'm going to fight him one day and beat him. And that was all that I was thinking about. And it's not good looking past fights, but I was always just focused on Jimmy Sweeney. I was focused on the fights, but I knew I was going to get through the fights to fight him. And when it happened, it was just weird. It just come true. And then after that, getting up there, I was with John Watton, just met John Watton before that fight. And I've been with him since, and obviously he's massive fan on manifesting, visualization. That's the way I started to just build it from there, and I do it ever since. Yeah. If
it's working for you, man, then great, isn't it? We're in, keep going with that, like, definitely.
I believe you've got a vision, like this fight with Jimmy and Marbella. I vision like going in there, doing the walkout, doing the weigh-ins, doing just vision everything, like visioning just Austin Trout in front of me with Conor McGregor there and David Feldman and saying this is going to be a world title fight. I was visioning that and doing it in my gym. I'd say Caleb Harris fight, that's when I started doing it mainly properly, visualising, and I was going in this is how much I wanted it. I was training all week. I had my day off on a Sunday. I used to go in my gym on my own, just visualising, shadow boxing, going through the motions, going over what I'm going to be doing, and it happened.
Well, you know, to come where you come from, especially, thinking that you started late in general, that obsession, you have to have it. Otherwise, you won't be able to get there, isn't it? If you're just going to be part-time, whatever, you won't be able to do that, isn't it?
And like I say before, it's just about turning up every day, without fail, turning up. But it's all right turning up, but you've got to put the work in as well. If you don't put the work in, it's never going to happen. So that's the best thing about me. Just all through my childhood, my dad made me work and he made me graft, and he gave me that discipline. Even though a lot of times I didn't like it, it was horrendous, and a lot of things I didn't agree with, but he gave me that discipline, and that's how, and it's transferred into this. And every time I turn up every day and I put in the fucking work 100% every day, and that's what does it.
Yeah. Are you doing this? You talk about the visualization and stuff, and walking out into ring and stuff like that. Are you doing this right up to the last minute? Are you, when you're walking up, approaching the ring, are you still having images of what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes going in there as we're getting through? And at what point do you switch from the nice guy that we see into the fucking nutcase that's in the ring and then zoning and fucking... If did you say before, when Jimmy first walked out, you just took the centre of the ring and said, this is my fucking house here. Yeah. And at what point, when does that click? Is it in dressing room before, or is it as you're walking out, or is it in there and you see them coming out?
It's kind of... So on fight day, you wake up and I'm just chilled for the whole morning until the time it is. As soon as I know we're getting picked up and I've got to go in my room and pack my bags and get my gym stuff, that's when I make the switch. And it's like, right, we're in war zone now, we're off to war. And me and my team know, and all your team, that's why all my team around me, I bring my brother in my corner, people that are just you're comfortable around. And we're going to war and everyone just knows, and everyone gets in the same zone with you. All your cornermen get in the same zone, and they just know, right, this is it, this is the time. And then we get to the arena, start warming up, then you're in that switch now.
You're all in zone.
And then it starts to get quieter and quieter and less talking, and it's more like just little words. And then we're walking into the arena and we're just backstage waiting in this little corridor, and Jimmy's on the stage waiting, and that's when it's like really intense. Do you know what I mean? It's intense, and obviously the way I felt, I told my coach, I was trying to warm up and nothing was working. I was gassing on pads and I'm like, I feel shit. And that's when it's like, right, let's make that switch now. And then you've just got to keep talking, and you're pacing around up and down, and you're talking to yourself, making that switch, and that's when you got to dig in and find it.
Do you think of anything specifically though? Like, we asked Jimmy this, and he said, we asked him when his switch moment was. He says when he's walking out, his music comes on. On that way out,
he does it for a reason, yeah.
Or speaks to his dad, who sadly passed away.
Yeah.
And he says that was his moment. And then we asked a few other guys, and it's when their music kicks in. But so is there anything specifically you think?
I just think of like, look at what you've been through. Look how far you've done, and you've turned up. You're here now. You've wanted this belt for a long time, and all that work you've put in, you can't just throw it away now. Like, you've got to turn up and perform. All the training don't matter now. It's just this moment. So you've got to turn up mentally, and it is just mindset as soon as you're walking in. And I used to sometimes think of my mum, but that used to throw a lot of things away. It used to get too emotional. So I don't think of that anymore because I know she's always there watching. I can feel her energy with me, but I just think of like all the times I've had bad. I don't really go into detail. I just think quick brief. All right, I've done this, I've done that.
All the obstacles you've overcome to get to where you are.
Look how much I've trained. Like, look how hard that fight camp was.
Yeah, you've got to finish it off now.
Exactly. So this is the easy bit. So it's just in my mind
fighting this hard bastard. The easy bit.
So in my mind, it's like. There's no doubts whatsoever. It's just I know I'll fight no matter what, and it's just switching on that mental performance, switching on that bit of smarter performance, and I know I can just swing and have a fight with anyone. It's just switching on a bit more. I didn't switch on enough. I switched on enough to do what I had to do, but performance-wise and game plan-wise, no. But we still got the job done, and that's all that matters. And it was for me. So when I was walking in, I said, right, I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to get in the ring and I'm going to mentally get the edge as they're announcing us. So I do my little pacing up and down, and I felt Jim was a little bit nervous when I was in there. I could just feel it just a little bit, until he started easing in the rounds. But then I think I got that mental edge just as I walked in, showing like mental strength, showing I'm dominant, this ring's mine, do you know what I mean? So that's the kind of mindset I get in. Yeah.
Well, as you said, now you're taking a little break now. You can sit back and you can watch other people get in there. Your guys, your gym mates and stuff like that, or the guys that you're training with and coaching and stuff like that. We've got an event coming up in Birmingham at the end of this month. By the time this comes out, it should be out before then, I think. We've got one of the guys fighting at main card there that you talked about earlier. Conor Tierney, Danny Christie,
against
Danny, Danny coming back out of retirement again.
Yeah, can't retire that lad.
Well, if you've got that bug, you've got that bug, haven't you? There's so many fighters retire and then come back and retire and come back. How do you think that's playing out? What do you think's going to happen there?
Interesting fight. Obviously, Danny's never been to this weight before, but I'm sure he's doing it confidently. I just hope Danny Christie sparks him clean out.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to say that.
But no, Conor Tierney's a good boxer. He's going to be boxing on the back foot, in and out. He's clever, isn't he? Connor's a clever boxer. He is good. Well. Danny's got some power in his shots, and he's aggressive. He's a proper fighting man. So it's going to be an interesting fight. I'm team Christie all along. So yeah, it'll be an interesting fight.
Yeah. Do you see it as a 50-50? Oh.
It's a close fight. Yeah. It's a very, like I say, I think Conor Tierney's got the better boxing, but then
Christie's more of a fighter, more of a brawler, isn't he?
Christie's got the toughness, and he's coming to have a fight, and if he hits you, you're going to know about it, and I think he will catch him. I think Conor's got that tall style. He's upright. He's a good boxer.
He's tall as well for weight, isn't he? He's 6'2",
and his chin's there waiting for fucking another left hook like I give him.
Have you got any favourite fights that you like watching at UK scene at the minute that are about? Anybody you like going to see fight?
Danny Mitchell, Dex Spellman. It was good to see Dex Spellman have his debut. Boxing well, like his pro boxing experience on that was, just showed.
Yeah, we were there in Manchester a couple of months ago. Yeah, when Dex played his debut. He had a game plan for this guy. With all his fights, he runs in, crosses his feet over, tough MMA fighter. And the plan was just let him walk onto one of Deck's counters, and Deck likes to just hold his feet and let him box in the middle, where he just didn't do it. He didn't give him anything in that fight.
He sat back, didn't he?
Yeah. So he sat back and he felt Deck's power as well. So Deck couldn't really do what he was planning on doing, but he ended up boxing well and performing really well. every shot count. He didn't really take too much damage.
I don't think he. You know, when I was watching him, I thought because obviously it's his first bare knuckle fight, so it's completely new experience. Although he is a very experienced boxer, but he was a newbie at BKFC, and I thought maybe he didn't want to take too many risks in same time as well, didn't he? It didn't seem like he was risking a lot, and I thought that's probably a smart thing to do.
Yeah, we were always very much
keep
in
control rather than risk it. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, after the fight, he's like, I should have done a bit more, but he was just like. I was like, yeah, it's your first fight. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to you don't want to take any too many risks, like run in trying to get an amazing finish. Just get a comfortable win, and then he's ready to go again. But yeah, to be fair, he dropped him in the last round, and he nearly finished him in that last round. But this guy's had a lot of pro MMA experience, and to have your debut fighting this guy,
we're like 30 odd fights. I think. I can't remember how many.
Do you think Deck will be out in? Is it Manchester they're looking at?
Yeah, so that's his next fight he's been asked to do. So I think that's August, isn't it?
August, September,
Manchester. So obviously he's got an opponent in mind. Obviously we'll have to wait until it gets confirmed, but that'll be an exciting fight as well. And see where Deck goes from there. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
And what about Danny?
And obviously Danny as well. Yeah, he's
got a Valitudo fight coming back.
He has, yeah. So he's had.
He wants to go into bare knuckle MMA.
Yeah,
he's got his booked.
Two wins in BKFC. 2 wins in BKFC now. So he's done that. Thing is with Danny, he's had his career. Do you know what I mean? He's been retired a few times. He's just doing it because he loves to. He just loves fighting, and he wants to tick all the boxes. He's not doing it to win belts or like. He's just doing it because he's a fighter, and
that's
it's
exactly what he said to us.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all he ever knows. So
you know, last time when we had podcast with him in the gym, we had it in the ring, didn't we? It was kind of cool, actually. Yeah, and I think you just left when we came in.
Right. Yeah.
You were there earlier on that day. Yeah, and. Halfway through, he says, "Well, at the end of the day, I'm a prize fighter. Whoever pays the most, I'll fight." And I looked at him. I thought, "No, you're not. You can't be a prize fighter with 108 fights. You'll fight for free. You'll pay to fight."
Remember what he said to me after that Manchester event? And I said, "Oh, what's next then, Danny?" And he said, "Valitudo and all this." And he says, "To be honest with you, for 10 grand, I'd dig somebody up and kick the skull."
Dig my grand's grave up, wasn't it? I fucking howled him when I said that. That's the sort of guy he is. He doesn't give a fuck.
He says, "I won't mind, but she got cremated."
Fucking easy win.
Fucking hell. Wild. Absolutely wild. That's what I mean. He's just straight to the point. He's not bothered about... Wow. I mean, BKFC, BKFC UK is like, you can't fight another promotions. Danny's not arse. He's like, I want to fight Valitude and I'll fight it. So he's fighting a 15-minute round against David Round. Headbutts, soccer kicks, everything. That's going to be interesting. That's going to
be in Hull, isn't it? Is that bad to the bone,
about 6 weeks. I'm there. I've got 2 lads boxing there from my gym, so I'll be calling with them. Then obviously Danny's fighting as well, so that'll be a good night. And then day after I'll go on holiday, so buzzing. But yeah, that'll be interesting fight. They've got some good. Bad to the Bone's got some good fights coming up. There was a tournament there, 20 grand tournament, 8-man tournament, 4-ounce gloves as well. One of my pals, Tommy Hawthorne's on there. So that'll be interesting. One of my
Does he fight at AVT as well?
Yeah, he's got a few different gyms, but he used to fight pro MMA out of AVT. He was like he did a lot of sparring with Tommy. He's a good lad. So yeah, that's interesting. There's some good like Tony Shields is in that tournament as well. He was on BKFC.
He fought up in Newcastle, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some good fights. It's quite a big show for bare knuckle. Bad to the Bone, it's still growing.
Combat sport in general in this country is absolutely fucking exploding.
Yeah.
All different promotions now. It's all getting legalised with bare knuckle.
I think
stuff.
UK is a good standard, very good standard, and that's why we need to just keep going out to America and mixing all with them lot. I think.
Do you have any bare knuckle lads coming to your gym?
I've had quite a few messages, but luckily I'm out of the way from it. But if I lived in a big city like Leeds or something, you're getting loads pestering you. But I'm glad I just live out of the way and just do my own thing. I can't be dealing with all these bare knuckle guys. I want to fight bare knuckle. I've had people messing me going, how do I get into bare knuckle and all this? It's like, you need to learn how to box first. Like, have you ever had a fight? They're like, no. So, you just get some mad people doing it, but there's levels, isn't there? There's mad levels to the game. Even bare knuckle, it's
a brutal sport.
It's
brutal, isn't it? Danny was saying to us, he says you don't think that young fighters should go straight into bare knuckle because it damage they take. It's more guys like himself that have had a career in different disciplines and stuff, and then doing it towards end, because it might damage you a little bit too early if you're going in it's a 21-year-old. So.
Yeah,
From a
exactly.
fighter's point of view, that's definitely true. But from the sports point of view, they need young fighters. Yeah.
Promoters will want that, won't they? I guess,
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously, yeah, I believe that as well. But obviously, with my situation, like I say, everything happens for a reason, and that's happened. I got into bare knuckle for a reason. It was because I was having surgery, and that was
technically you couldn't do MMA even if you wanted to, didn't you?
That's why I always go off that, because at the time I was like, I'll have a bare knuckle. I only started it for a laugh, and now I took it too far. I've won a belt now, European.
You've won more than one belt.
No,
so fucking laugh. That.
So it started off just for a laugh because I love striking. I was getting sick of getting taken down in MMA.
But
yeah, mad.
Sorry, I just remembered something as well. Last time when we were with Danny Mitchell again, Danny Mitchell said after a surgery, after a while, he said when he felt good, you come to gym one day and you said, I think I'm all right to grapple again. You wanted to grapple again, didn't you?
So do you still get that edge then? Even
yeah.
Something in your mind, you know what, I won't mind doing...
I will fight MMA again.
Yeah.
I'll fight Vale-Tudo. I want to do what Danny's doing, Vale-Tudo, yeah. But no, I honestly do. There's some big MMA shows coming up now, like PFL's massive, some big money in there, and I look at the levels, some of them, I'm like, I fancy my chances against half of these guys, and I do believe I'll fight MMA again, but it's just getting signed off medically and finding a way getting kicked in the stomach again. So I've got to be careful. One day I will, but
when somebody puts knee on your stomach full.
Yeah, there'll be a way. I'll find a way to do this. So there'll be a way of just getting a groin guard that's really flexible and just protects it a little bit. You can get some different protectors. There will be a way of
custom
doing it
made,
one day.
maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There will be a way, and I'll find out one day. But yeah, my end goal was to one day just have a Vale-Tudo fight or like a no rules fight, even if it's in the field or something. I just a mad fight. I just love fighting, and it's not even like I don't hate anyone. I don't dislike anyone. Do you know what I mean? It's like I just love fighting. So one day, if anyone wants a Vale-Tudo fight or no rules,
you know who to
Rich
call.
on about getting into it.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
even just like
He's in camp now.
is he?
Anytime he's
Move a few of these benches out.
Even like just 1 hour, just 1 hour fight, like no
continue
breaks.
until
Yeah.
somebody taps or gets...
I'd like to have a bare knuckle fight.
As in no rounds, just flat out 1 hour.
Do you know, like the old
that's
school?
what Vale-Tudo was, wasn't
proper.
it?
The old
No
school,
holds barred and no time.
the old school like travellers. You know what I mean? You just turn up and it's like you ease into it. It's like Muay Thai. You ease into it and then slowly it gets faster and faster, like the beat of the music. Where I like to just have no rounds, just flow with it. Yeah. Maybe King of the Streets.
I don't like that eye gouging bollocks, do you?
No, I don't know. I won't do it.
Come on, man.
There is limits.
I won't do that just because you get it's eye gouging and stuff like
But
that.
the problem is probably somebody else will do it to you.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And two,
I don't
it's
like
on
that.
concrete as well. It's like you crack your head, it's
You go
game
down.
over.
Yeah.
So that's just a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, because
I won't do that.
Pushing it a bit too far.
Yeah.
most of deaths on street happens not when somebody gets punched, it's
when
when they
they
fall.
fall,
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a bit, there's rules to it, and that's why they have rules.
Can we just ask you as well before we
Yeah.
come towards the end of this? What do you think about Conor McGregor? We've got to ask you about him.
Conor McGregor,
card, that Marbella card, that massive show. I mean, it looked fucking spectacular.
Yeah, what a mad guy. I mean, obviously I've been a massive fan of Conor McGregor for, all his... since he was on Cage Warriors, winning two-weight world champ. So, when we got to beat him in Marbella, it was the first day I met him was going in for weigh-ins. This big massive play. They did it out unbelievable. The amount of money they must have spent on that show was crazy. And I think there was all like who was it? Exhibit and all them. They was all there.
Oh yeah.
And I was weighing in. Was in a queue ready to weigh in. It was all next to each other, massive crowds. Next minute, I'm just getting like shoved by someone. It's fucking. All the fans getting shoved by Conor McGregor's security coming in. It's just a massive hurdle. It was crazy. And he just walks in like the goat. Like, just walks in like the boss.
The old billionaire.
But he's swinging his arms as well. When he was
Swinging his arms, Rolex on. What a guy. And he just gets on stage and just owns the place. And that he just everywhere he goes.
a
He
full
just,
superstar.
He's
isn't
a
he?
charismatic
He's
fucking guy.
fucking-
Like.
he's the
wherever he
man.
goes, it's Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? And
We were up
it was
in
good.
Newcastle when we were at that show, the one that Aggie Faulkner,
Yeah.
that massive fight with David Oscar up there. He was at that show there, and we've seen him at side of stage and round back in car park after, and like you say, there's a whole team round him, and then he just struts out like he does, and charisma coming off the bloke. You can see where he's got to where he's got to.
Absolutely.
But he had time for people, didn't he?
Yeah. He did, yeah. He was stopping and chatting with his odd, taking pictures and stuff like that. And he's mad as a box of frogs, as to say, like, you know, but
absolutely bonkers. And seeing him ringside when you're fighting and that, I could always hear him shouting 50 seconds. He was always shouting that, and then that's when I like started headbutting punches. I was like, he created that bit. So,
do we think he'll ever get into bare knuckle ring? I know he has said it, but do you actually think he will do at some point?
I hope so, because I think his style is quite good for it. I think he'll have a good style for bare knuckle.
And if he does, do you fancy it?
100%. If Conor McGregor wants it, he'll get it for the world title fight. So yeah, obviously, I think 10 weeks before the Italy fight, he'd come to the press conference and he said, someone asked him that question. He said, "Listen, I want to be the world champion of bare knuckle one day." So, you know, I don't think right now. I think it's going to be a bit of time until he does.
I think the problem is he has so many things on his plate, and
Massively.
I'm not sure if he, to be honest, I'm not sure if he ever can find the time anymore.
No,
because
to be fair though, with his injury after he basically snapped his leg, I think
had a lot of time off.
He's not doing MMA anytime soon, is he?
I don't think
that'll be done.
Well, bare knuckle,
probably would
like you
suit
say,
him
you're
better
probably
just to
right.
stick
It
to
probably would be.
But then I don't know if he'll want to finish on a loss. I think he would want to finish on a win at UFC. So maybe one day I think he might, but I can't see it anytime soon. But you know, bare knuckle, I could see him maybe doing. Obviously, he's in it. It would grow it massively. And
his involvement
it helped the sport. Yeah, that's for sure.
It'd be massive. And listen, my goal one day is to fight Conor McGregor. I'd love to fight him. Imagine the payday on that.
Yeah,
that's it.
Red panty night. That's
Well,
what it is.
I think there's quite a queue you need to join though, mate. To be honest.
Chandler waited 3 years.
Every fighter on this planet would probably want to fight him for the payday.
the same weight, aren't we?
Yeah,
they would be the same weight. So
74,
that is a possibility for you.
Well, now
and I'll tell you what, from
bigger
everything you've been through in your life and what you've achieved, you fucking deserve that.
It'd be a great way to end it, wouldn't
You
it?
deserve that.
If I vision it and I believe it, it'll happen. So I believe I will fight him one day, and it will happen. Whatever weight he wants, whatever rules he wants, we'll do it in Dublin in his own car, whatever. We'll do it on his yacht. Just on helicopter pad.
Carbon fiber yacht.
Listen, I'll fight anyone. I'd love to fight Mike Perry as well. Just he's a massive name.
Yeah.
Look what he's done for
Go over
BKFC.
to
It's
States
massive.
and fight Perry. That'd be good. Yeah.
It'll be an horrible fight because I'd be breaking my hands on his head. It'll just be like slabs of meat on his head, and he would just keep eating him. But I believe I'd beat him.
But I like listening to him on podcasts. You know, when he speaks about bare knuckle, it's like he explodes with excitement. You can see his eyes lit up. He's like, this sport
Loves
just
it.
suits me. His hands are shaking.
He did it in that press conference. Like, these two men are going to be crunching knuckles on each other, and it's like excitement. It's like when you watch the bare knuckle FC live, like next to the ring, and you can hear the crunches.
Yeah,
it's like it's different.
Yeah.
It's very different, and
it is.
And you can't take your eyes off it. Every fight you just can't. Even if it's not a great fight, you just can't take your eyes away.
Yeah,
we've been to the last 4 events, and it's absolutely
incredible.
Sucked us in like no, right? We absolutely love it. The events are fucking incredible. And fights.
It reminds me of one of the best fights I've watched is like Dan Hooker and Poirier fight in lockdown.
Oh,
it was lockdown, so there was no crowd.
You could hear it.
You could hear every crunch.
And it was brutal.
It was a right scrap.
And the moment where camera turned into Poirier, and his coach goes, "Are you enjoying yourself?" And he just went, "Oh yeah."
He loves it.
You're like, what the?
That's what I mean.
That prior round was complete mosh.
Yeah.
They were just grueling each other, close combat. You know,
Dan Hooker were in bits.
Yeah,
He were in bits.
I watched that before the fight against Jimmy. And I just love watching fights like that. And I actually met Dan Hooker in Marbella. He come watch the show as well, so that was sick. I'm a big fan of Dan.
Yeah.
Got a picture of him and that, and I asked him about fighting on there, and he said, "Yeah, definitely, this is his cup of tea."
So you might fight him as well
He does
then.
come across the guy that are going to bare knuckles.
He's ruthless, Dan. He's a guy. He's a geezer. He's just set up that little promotion, 4-ounce glove, 36 people.
Him and his Adesanya, I think they have.
There's like 1 minute rounds, aren't there? Just swinging in,
just going all out.
Just fucking haymakers from
he's just there, like loving the entertainment.
He's a sound guy, though, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
We've never met him, obviously, but he's
a proper,
comes across really well.
Good fighter, yeah. So, yeah, obviously these big stars coming in now. But BKFC is just growing. It's just, obviously Europe now is going to be getting bigger with these shows coming in. It's going to be interesting where they're going to go next.
What contract are you on at BKFC? Do you do it fight by fight?
Just a free fight contract, yeah. One more, then we can renew it. But no, after that fight, obviously, I spoke to Feldman a couple of days after, and we said we're going to. Don't really matter about the contract now after that fight. I think contract's out the window now. But
time you can renegotiate now.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, you beat the legend really twice,
again.
So you become the legend now. It's people will speak about you.
And you're first European champ, aren't you?
Yeah, welterweight, first welterweight.
Champ,
So that's that'll be good for the future memories. But yeah, Jimmy Sweeney, obviously 34 bare knuckle profile. It's massive, and he's known as the best in the game for a long time, and to win that trilogy is massive. You don't feel it. You don't realise how big it is when you're in the moment because you're that focused. But after a few weeks, when I went to Morocco on holiday and sat back and just soaked it all in, it was like, fucking glad I won that. I'd have been depressed if I didn't win that.
It's the way you won as well, because when somebody goes in and then just wins by a thread, but everyone's okay, or just the fight was boring, or somebody wins by a knockout, like a lucky shot, it doesn't count. But all 3 fights were complete war.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think
Every
that's
one of them.
And going
brilliant.
down into the last round, and against Jimmy Sweeney, and for European belt.
Yeah.
Crazy.
When you weigh it all up and look at all that's come together.
And
you couldn't do any of that with that.
No.
You're a good woman supporting you.
No,
could you?
exactly,
Keep
yeah.
thinking back in your mind, you couldn't do any of that.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing
Without
would have
a
been
good
possible.
woman.
Yeah, I wouldn't have what I have now. It's, you know what I mean, and I believe if it weren't for my wife meeting her at that right time, it was weird how it all just happened. Because ever since school, I've never been one for I've never been like a woman's guy. I'm just always not a clue what I'm doing, and just fucking liking a
do
scrap,
it anyway.
just training, fighting, and it's I've never been the one. It's just we met each other. Actually, the first day I met her, guess what happened? I was fighting.
Thought you were going to say you fucking fell out of an helicopter or something.
I was fighting and nearly dying.
Bungee jumping,
Just landed on her head.
she caught him.
So it was I was already fighting at the time. Obviously, I met her, so she come into that already knowing I was a fighter. So obviously, going through that, and if I didn't meet her, and she's restricted me from doing the things that I shouldn't be doing, going through a lot of grief as well, at the time. And when you lose your head and you're going through a lot of mental health issues, she kept me on that right path where if it wasn't for her, I'd have probably headed off. God knows where I'd have ended up.
Drugs, fucking dead, fucking...
I don't think more drugs, 'cause I've never took a drug in my life. I've never touched a drug. A bit of marijuana, that's about it, but it's a little bit different to the hardcore stuff. I've never touched hardcore stuff. Never been one for going out partying. Like I say, even on my school prom, I was at the gym training. I'm that kind of guy.
Did you take her with you?
I wasn't even with her then. And I was the only one at gym at that point. It's where is her? I was probably school prom. I was I don't know. Why are you not there? Get your son there. I'm like, interested. Nothing interests me apart from just bettering myself.
Yeah.
And it's just a weird little power tool that I've had ever since school. It's weird. It's I don't know what I just believe it's probably from my childhood, just the way my dad's been it's been like an army camp in my house, but in a way I'm glad it happened.
Well, it's about you've had to have that focus and you've had to have that to get through what you've got through to get.
Yeah, exactly.
You're half Portuguese, is that right?
Half Portuguese, my dad's from Madeira. Same place as where Cristiano was born. Small little island next to Portugal, Madeira. So I think distant relation, Cristiano could be a relation. So,
you're slightly better with football.
I'm a little bit better looking. But I don't get
you won't mind being 10 quid behind it, would you?
I know, So it could, it's a small, everyone's related to each other, but I probably am distant somewhere related to him.
It's only a little island, mate, isn't it?
It's tiny,
You're a Man United fan as well?
Yeah, big Man United. Well, I was massive Man United. My brother and dad, massive fans. My brother still is. But I kind of just bores me now. I've not watched a game in years.
I don't blame
Unless
You're
it's a
winning
big
the shit
game.
now, mate.
Yeah.
They're
Unless it's a
both
big
Man
game.
United fans.
Yeah.
We're United fans as well. Here,
They don't watch it
We
anymore
had Gary
either.
Fox in here a few weeks ago and he wasn't happy with us.
Oh, really?
We didn't tell him till Henry says, by the
What do
way.
you think of Man United? Fucking scum and all this. And he said, oh, me and him are big Man United fans. And he's like, bastards.
Both season ticket holders. And he
Oh,
goes,
really?
"Fucking cunts."
No way.
What happened?
I tell you what, I've been to a few games with my brother and that, like, you know, you go to the pub before chanting and then you go into the game. Oh, it's mad.
It's when you're
atmosphere.
there, it's
Yeah,
nice. It's
amazing.
unbelievable. Yeah, I'll go with them
I've
sometimes
got
as
a
well.
question. Why does Gary Fox support Leeds United when he's from Newcastle?
That's from Middlesbrough, yeah.
Everyone had the
Oh,
question.
He said that about he was never into football. He just think it was for pussies and all this. He was more
Right.
into street
He
fighting.
went with his mate, didn't he? Just
He went with
liked
his
the
mate and
atmosphere.
just fell in love with it. Absolutely love
Oh, really?
atmosphere and all that. And he's right into it now. Yeah, so
Ah,
fair
that makes
play to
sense.
him.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
you've got mates in Leeds, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, that makes sense. But yeah, it does. It's a mad old game, isn't it, football?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
But
Not as mad as BKFC and Bare Knuckle. But to be fair, there's
bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a few.
I know
more
Rich, you're going to
that
ask you a
come
question as well. You know, like,
yeah, before we finish.
public speaking, that type. We'll let you.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought yesterday, have you ever thought about public speaking, doing like TED Talks and stuff like
No,
that?
but do you know what? I've had a few people keep
Because
saying
you would
repeating
be
it, yeah.
perfect. I
Yeah,
think you would
I
fill the
agree.
crowd. I think that
Reckon?
stadiums would be filled, honestly.
It's not gonna be my face that fills it. So it's got, but yeah, to be fair, I've had quite. Do you know what? I went on holiday and this guy approached me. He's like, "Are you in the Marines?" Or I always get like the Marine look or
Yeah, I've
some
got a
kind of
Marine.
Yeah, you
some
just
kind
said
of
it. Yeah,
hooligan.
you do actually. Yeah.
or some kind of hooligan look. Yeah, they're either like, "Are you in the Marines?" or "You just come out of prison" or something. Like, I ain't got tattoos on my
Then you know,
face.
nothing stupid like that. I'm a European
Innit?
champion Bare Knuckle fighter.
So
You're in a
obviously-
Valitudo, mate.
So I get talking to this old boy, and he's like, "Oh, bare knuckle." Then we talk for ages. Then I tell him, he's asking me questions, tell him about a bit of a story, and he's like, "I'm inspiring this old guy now," and he's like, he's saying, "You need to get to schools or business places. You need to do these talks," and he's like telling me to do it. And
Well,
every
but
time I see him every day, he's like, "You need to get doing it." I'm like, I'm not really bothered at the minute, but
Something to think about,
When
mate.
TED Talk is one of the main ones, but you don't have to start there on the biggest one straight away. You can do on the smaller ones as well.
Yeah.
But at some point, if you do a few of them, at some point, if you do like a TED Talk, there's few others I can't remember, but eventually millions of people gonna watch you and see you, and I think that's something to be said about that. And
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
people should hear your story. The ones especially that break their nail and cry.
I've been thinking about I have been thinking about it since he said it, and I do want to. My goal now is to, like, obviously, I've got a lot of goals, but they all like later down in the line when I've retired and stuff. All I want to do is just help people out. So if I can go into schools, businesses, or anywhere, just or gyms, just to help motivate, inspire people that's got going through the same issues me, a lot of health issues, like want to give up. I mean, I've done it now. I've helped thousands of people online. As soon as I had the surgery, I thought, I'm not going to hold this in. I'm going to post a picture before and after. Yeah, so I thought, I'm just going to, don't bother me. It saved my life. So I'm trying to just help people now and help them, not give up mentally just because you've got this problem and the way it is, So
Well, a good friend of yours, is it Luke Staten, is it?
yes, Luke's done. Yeah,
Yeah, you do quite a lot bit with him, don't you?
just done a podcast on Wednesday with Luke. Yeah,
Well, he's a public speaker and he speaks really well. He's
Amazing,
He's a really impressive guy. Maybe you could do something.
So
with
you
him
got
moving forward.
you have somebody already. So
Yeah,
it's a good
he's
start.
very
Yeah,
good.
you
As well.
definitely
Listen
have
to quite a
them.
bit of his stuff.
Yeah.
So
really
he goes to schools, businesses, and he does talks. He went to Dubai not long ago and did talks in schools over there, and he's took me on. I've never been really confident at talking because obviously going back to school, reading, writing, talking, I've never really had confidence. So obviously more podcasts I do, the more these
practicing,
interviews,
isn't it?
press
Yeah.
You
conferences.
come across really. We're not just saying it's your age.
Yeah.
You can fight, but you
Yeah.
come across really well. No, you do. Honestly, I'm really impressed.
No, honestly, some people meet me for the first time and they'll say, "Fucking hell, you're not what I expected." I was like, "Wow, what do
I'll
you
be
mean?"
honest, you're not what I expected.
They're
as
like,
well,
"Oh,
yeah.
you're quite well spoken and like really down to earth, humble
Yeah.
guy." And I'm like, just because I fight bare knuckle, I'm not a hooligan. Like,
That's
it
it.
does
You're
get a
a
bit
professional,
You
mate.
articulate well,
Yeah.
though, and you come across very well, and you speak really clearly and well. So I think this is.
I think it's because I've always been professional and it's always been about who the people you've hung around with as well. Ever since school, I've always hung around with older people than me, and being with Danny all my life, like I've just been looking up to him, and I kind of do like simulate Danny's kind of the way he is and stuff. Like I do act
he's very well spoken as well.
I do act a little bit like him. It's because I've been copying him. I want him to be like Danny, so it's like he's just created this little monster now, like a really humble, well-speaking monster.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. So there you go, No Bones Fight Talk,
no,
bringing you interviews with your best fighters and handing out careers advice to these guys. So I'm not finished.
So when I'm on the next TED Talk, it's fancy everyone who's giving these. So
Don't forget about us, will you?
definitely not.
Would you like to give a shout out to any sponsors or anything, mate, while you're here?
Listen, every sponsor that's helped me for the whole career, not even just like even in my amateur career, it's just been hustling for sponsors ever since I want to make this dream come true, like for training full time. So everyone that's helped me, like even if they're not helping me now, like everyone that's helped me in this whole career, training partners
to get there where you are.
Everybody that's been involved in it, people doing podcasts, interviews, everyone that's been bigging me up and supporting me online. All the fans that come watch me compete. I've got fans, diehard fans from the start, from the amateur careers that still come and watch me, and it's just amazing to see that, and people that believed in me. My brother, my wife. If it weren't for them as well, I wouldn't be where I am. Danny Mitchell's been a massive part. If it weren't for Danny, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't have had all these opportunities. So just having great people around you and just great energy around you. You know what I mean? If you're with people that are just negative, you're going to be the next negative person. But if you're with people just giving that positive energy around, you're going to do the same. And I just love it. I just love hanging around with mad people.
That's it. And they're all part of the story to get to where you are today, which is an impressive one, as
exactly.
we have just heard. And so, thank you very much for joining us, Rico, first of all, and to everybody out there listening. We are the No Bones Fight Talk podcast, and we're coming to you nowadays in partnership with CJ Wassell Roofing Building Solutions. Thank you very much for sponsorship deals there. If anybody else wants to get in touch with us for that sort of thing, feel very welcome to do so. And we're all off to get off his arse and train for an ultramarathon because we've just been inspired by this guy. So thanks for tuning in.
Me and Chris, we're doing 3 peaks, so we're all right.
Next time we're on this podcast, it's going to be a gold belt, and the next time we're on here. So when I win it, we'll get back on here. Good man. Let's go.
Thanks for coming, mate. Thanks for listening. See you later. The No Bones Podcast.